Welcome to another episode of The Panel. Today, we will be talking about which MVP will come out of this division. This is the Northwest Division, and I believe that potentially Anthony Edwards or SGA or a three-time MVP, Nikola Jokic, will get another MVP this season, and each of them are in this division. They'll play against each other multiple times this year. They'll be competing for who comes first in this division, and ultimately, these three teams will be competing for who will actually come out of the West. And there's also two other fairly good teams, playoff level teams.
One of them at least.
Okay,
Yes,
okay, well,
definitely one of them. Mm-hmm. The other one you're talking about, Ron, I'm not sure. I'm going to say no on that one, but definitely.
They looked decent last night. They looked very decent last night.
Are you certain, Mars? Because again, I mean, I did watch that game last night, and I'm thinking to myself, am I going to be out by the time December comes around? Because I remember you and me had this conversation where you put me on the San Antonio train 2 years ago when Wemby started, and it was a very difficult watch. I tried to do it. But then I'm watching the game last night between Houston and Utah, and I'm thinking to myself, they remind me a lot of the Australian national team. What I mean when I say that, Penn, is the action that they run is fantastic. I just don't think that they have the personnel to execute on a night-to-night basis. That's
sure,
what I think.
You won't be out by December. You'll be out by October.
So after week
well,
one,
I mean,
I'm out.
when we say out, what's the potential of in? Like
Zero.
I think everyone.
I don't think that they're a
like
playoff
even
team or
Utah
anything
knows
like that.
they're not going to the playoffs. Like
Hope.
Right.
no one's hiding that fact. So when we say if someone says they're in on Utah, I don't think they're saying they're in on Utah in the sense of playoff push. More so that like they're going in the right direction. Like every team has a different standard of bar. So like if we're saying we're in on the Wizards, we're not in on the Wizards to make the play-in, but we're in on the Wizards because of the accumulation of young talent and the coaching and the organization seems to be going the right way. And in that case, I'm in on Utah. Like I don't know, spoiler alert, I'm in on Utah. I like what they've got going on. Ace looked good last night. It's a preseason game. I'm not going to say, he's going to average 25. But a lot of the things that I said about how I think he could be used and within Will Hardy's system, a lot of that stuff was happening. A lot of off-ball action, a lot of catch and shoot opportunities, coming off curls, getting to his soft spots on the floor. We're not seeing him isolate for mid-range jumpers. Like, that's not his game. That's not what he was going to do. I didn't expect that to be the case. And I think he can be very effective as a rookie doing those things. And then also, like, Utah, just to Chill's point, and something I've been saying about Will Hardy for a while, they run really good stuff. A lot of off-ball stuff, a lot of stuff to maximize guys who aren't the most skilled creators. And there's a reason why they're always high in the league in turnovers. It's because they don't have the quality, but the vision is there. And I think that's the good sign of a young team. Not when you're able to win games, but when you're able to play the game the right way or try and play the game the right way and grow with building good habits instead of bad ones. And I think that's what Utah does. Defense, they're going to stink on defense again. But offensively, there's stuff to be intrigued about. And I think last night showed why Ace Bailey was a number 5 pick, because the talent, I think, is evident.
Agree.
He went 6.
And
didn't he go
but they they're the worst team.
He was 6. Oh, okay, my fault.
Like, they were the worst team in the league last year, so I don't think any of us think that they're going to all of a sudden make the playoffs. But to Mars's point, if you're in on them, it means that you're going to see improvement. You're high on what they're doing. I like the Bailey. I like the Bailey pick. We saw yesterday what he can grow into. I just don't love the front court. I think the front court during the season is weird. Markkanen, Kessler, they got Mo Bamba now, Filipkowski, Nurkic, Kyle Anderson can play some minutes in the front court. Like, what are they doing with the front court? I think they're still trying to work it out. Kevin Love
and Nurkic, you don't like that?
No, but I don't know how they're going to distribute minutes between all of these guys. Filipkowski should start and like just give him reins to start, really. But like, are they trying to win a few more games this year? Like, are they going to lean on the vets to bring some stability in the front court so this team can get better, or are you just giving all the rope to your young guys to try and get as many reps as possible? So yeah, I think that's a weird part with the Jazz that they haven't quite figured out. I also think that they were a little bit mismanaged with the Jordan Clarkson, John Collins stuff when they should have sold on those guys when their stock was the highest, but instead they lose them for nothing, or they have to make trades to get off these guys and attach draft capital and things of that nature. So I think they've been a little mismanaged as well. But the front court stuff I don't like. But the Ace Bailey backcourt stuff I'm excited about.
You want Filipowski to start over who?
Anyone?
So
I think he should
you would move Laurie to the 3?
I would move. Yeah. I would accommodate Filipowski because what I saw from him, especially in college, but just we've seen glimpses. I think he has to be a guy where you try and build your future on. I think Markkanen's at the stage now where I'm not even sure if he fits their timeline anymore. Like, is Markkanen a guy, and there's reports coming out again last night of they're open to trading him, which feels like it's been around for about a year and a half. Is it the right time to, move off Markkanen? He's approaching 30, I believe. I think he's late 20s now. Is he even fitting their timeline anymore? Is his stock high enough now to move off him? Because I'm not sure if he's the guy that's going to fit their timeline anymore in the front court.
Makes too much money. He makes
his contract's diabolical, but
exactly. He just turned 28. He just turned 28 in May. So about 5 months ago, he just turned 28.
He's over.
So by the time this team's ready, does it fit Markkanen's timeline? Will Markkanen probably be in his early 30s? I don't know.
How far away is this crew from a talent standpoint? How far away is it? Well, if I'm looking at the Western Conference and the landscape,
3-4 years.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking like 2-3 years to at least compete for a play-in spot. That's why I ain't even thinking about
the way the West is set up. Is looking.
That's what I mean.
On their roster is inspiring this type of faith. Like look at the rest of the West.
Ace Bailey.
Who's please? Okay.
Ace Bailey.
I don't think that. I don't think they.
The
have
guy I tried to tell you about. Ace Bailey.
Okay.
Yeah, you remember that?
They have their friend.
Remember
I don't
all
think
that
they have
hate?
their franchise guy, but I think Ace Bailey is.
Ron, as you victory lap
Taylor
over
Hendricks being back is good. Like, they got good young pieces, but they're banking on their piece being a next year's draft. They're banking on a Cam Boozer, a Darren Peterson, a AJ.
I think they banked on this year.
Okay.
No, but I think Ace is a high upside. I see the upside. I'm not with Penn is low on him, but I think you're looking at Ace Bailey to pair alongside your top 3 pick, hopefully next year. And then you're building with that Taylor Hendricks. You'll see if Cody Williams can not be a criminal like he was in his
Bryce Sensabaugh?
Walker Kessler, if he stays around. Bryce Sensabaugh is someone who I really liked coming in, but he has some issues about his fit. Like, they've got intriguing young pieces.
They really do, Mars.
As we all know, if you're building, you need you want a superstar. And I would bet on it being in next year's draft more so than I would bet on it being Ace Bailey. Because he's the only one on their roster who I would even say has a chance of being a superstar. And his chance is slim, I would say. Because I think, generally speaking, being a superstar is tough. But pairing Ace Bailey with a AJ, with a Darren Peterson, with a Cam Boozer, then you're in a pretty good position going forward, especially with Will Hardy as your coach. Like, there was a play yesterday that Ace Bailey made that really intrigued me because I didn't know if he was going to make those type of plays early on. It was like in the third quarter or something. Nurkic sets him a Carl screen. He comes off. Şengün steps up to pick him up. And instead of shooting, he fires it to Nurkic on the roll for a wide open layup. That ability to do that in the preseason, knowing the issues that people had with Ace Bailey coming in, being able to be that aware and make that decision. Now, he's not going to make that decision consistently. He's not going to average 7 assists. I'm not saying that. But having the awareness to play within himself and play within the offense and create wide open layups for your teammates with the shooting ability he has. And he also made plays on defense. Like, he was getting in passing lanes. He was getting deflections. Like, he has the tools and the whereabouts to be an effective player. In the comparison I made with him was like a Michael Porter Jr. and there was someone else who I compared him to. I can't remember who I said. But like a blend of MPJ and then like another dynamic wing who can shoot and create somewhat. But like, that's the mold he's in, and he looked comfortable. And this is against the Houston team. I know it's preseason, but like, this is a good defensive team, and he looked comfortable. And I think that's all you can look for when it comes to rookies in preseason. It's not about if they're going to score 40 or if they're going to average 25, but do they look comfortable? And he definitely looks comfortable.
Mars, of his 25 points, and I'm very curious if you have a guess on this, and I'm assuming you watched the game. How many of those field goal makes would you say were contested? I'm talking lightly contested, heavily contested, just any form of there's a hand in his face.
Well, he had one of them where, to Mars's point, he how many shots did he take yesterday, Mike?
He went 11 for 16, I think.
He took 16 shots. But to Penn's point, do you want him shooting contested shots?
No, you
Look,
don't,
man.
Penn, because I know
Because when he
I-
shoots
that's-
contested
that's
shots,
so
because
disingenuous.
this is my
Ken.
issue.
not
Because when he was in the
don't.
draft
That is
process,
disgusting.
because
No.
when he was in
Yeah.
the draft process, you complained that he took bad shots, and now he's
Yes.
taking good shots. You're complaining
don't
that
like
his shots
his
aren't
shot.
It's
contested.
not that
Yeah.
I'm complaining that he takes bad shots. What I'm complaining about is that he
That's
doesn't
really what he did.
know. Mars, I think I have a better
Okay,
understanding
carry on.
of my own draft analysis than you do. I think I spent a lot of
So
time.
so
doing
school
this.
Taking bad
us,
shots and
Penn,
then-
because Penn, I vividly remember one of
But
your main problems.
That's what
with-
you did. I
with
remember
Ace
what you
Bailey.
did. You
Yes,
complained
with
that he
Ace
takes
Bailey.
bad shots, and then he's
That
in
was
his
your
interview
hugest
saying that he
problem. That
works
was
on
your
those
biggest
shots,
problem with
so
it.
he's gonna keep
Yes.
taking them.
Mhm.
And now here you are, when he didn't take the bad shots,
Okay, Mars,
you're
try
about to nitpick that. But go ahead, My
just-
fault.
let's
I
try
was
to
your
have
biggest
let's try to
problem.
have a good faith
my
argument.
bad. Intellectual curiosity. My bad. Intellectual curiosity.
Let's try to
Come
have
on,
let's try to have a
Mars.
conversation about this instead of like trying to drag up like a 2-word thing. Yes,
My
I
fault,
did.
my
I
fault.
did
Go ahead,
talk
my
about
fault,
that
my fault.
interview.
Go
Yes,
ahead,
I
my
did.
Okay,
fault.
let's
Okay.
have an intellectual conversation about this. Let's start with let's start with I remember them having an action with Ace Bailey cutting through the lane, and to Mars's point, he cut through the lane. With him cutting through the lane, I had split action on the other side of the floor. While that's going on, Ace Bailey ends up in a curl cut, and I got Sengun, and I got another big right underneath the basket. He goes right through that traffic, and he finishes. I'm looking for physicality when I look at rookies, right? I can appreciate bad shots, and I can appreciate shot selection, but I also look at how can you handle physicality and the athleticism that he showed on that particular play. I was thinking, ooh, I like how that looks.
Chill. It
Absolutely
was
like that.
it was all night, and this be my thing. And people always will take this the wrong way. When you are a 6'6" to 6'9" wing athlete, an elite athlete, it is going to be easier for you to play in the NBA than for you to play in college. Ace Bailey showed that last night. He doesn't necessarily need to have a phenomenal skill set to get off in the NBA. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to score 25 points a game like he did last night, but when you're an elite athlete, you can get in passing lanes, you can get out in the break, you can make back cuts, and if you play with other people that know how to play, they'll get you open. They'll find if you know how to move, if you're athletic, they'll find you on alley-oops, they'll find you on back cuts, they'll find you in transition. You can get steals and stuff like that. Ace Bailey showed last night, like I was trying to say, he is an elite wing athlete. And he got what, 3 or 4 dunks?
Yeah. I think to Mars's point, you look for little glimpses of things. And for Ace to have the presence of mind to hit a roller when we think he's going to shoot a contested shot is good signs. He's not going to score 25 a night, let's be honest. But this is why he's a dark horse, because when I look at Utah's roster, to me anyway, I may be a little bit lower on Utah than you guys, but to me, he's probably the only one that I see that could potentially be a franchise cornerstone type player. I don't really see that yet from anyone else. I don't really think anyone can ascend there. I think they have some nice pieces that can be sort of ancillary pieces, but Ace was the guy I think that's really going to be their cornerstone moving forward. And to Mars's point, they're probably gonna intentionally be bad again this year. So next year they can pair Ace with someone else, and then all of a sudden you got something to work with.
Why couldn't it be marketing, Damian? Is it because Damian just isn't good enough, or is it because of the way that they were using him?
I think Markkanen. I love Markkanen's game, but I don't know if Markkanen and Ace Bailey's timelines are going to align. Chill. I think by the time Ace Bailey becomes a player that can, if he does turn into a franchise cornerstone, when he does eventually get there, we're talking about another 3 to 4 to 5 years potentially. On average, the best players on the best teams that win championships, they're sort of year 6, year 7 in the league. I don't think that their timelines are going to align. So maybe you flip Markkanen for maybe another good young player to add to that already existing young core that you have going on. I think that's my thinking more so that can we make this work with Markkanen and try and do something special.
So just to clarify my position on this, and this is very, very publicly available. I did draft boards. I did draft board 1, 2, 3.
You're heavy in the draft. Yes, you are.
Yes. And these are videos that are released, and I can prove it. Okay, to anyone who wants to hit me up, I can prove this. I rank out every single prospect on 4 outcome possibilities: superstar, star, starter, bench, bust. Right, 5. Of all the players in this draft, the second highest superstar potential in this draft on my final draft board was given to Ace Bailey. The second highest. The first was given to Cooper Flag.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, he just also had a high bust.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It was boom or bust. Like, so
yeah.
So what I said about Jeremiah Fears, right? What I said about Jeremiah Fears, he's either going to be a star or he's going to be a bust, right? That's similarly how I feel about Ace. He's either going to be a star, he's going to be a bust.
But it
You
sounded
had
to me
Ace
like
better
you
than
were
Dylan
leaning-
Harper?
Yes, he.
I had him
Not
at
better
tied.
than Dylan Harper. He's
8%,
saying he had
8%. They were
Ace
both-
with as
they-
much
they-
superstar potential
They
as
were
Dylan Harper.
they were both.
But Dylan Harper has a
8%.
higher floor. That's what he's saying.
Dylan Harper has a way higher floor than me.
But you think Dylan's going to be better and is better?
I think Dylan Harper has the exact same potential to become a superstar. Like,
And you think he's better right now?
I think he's a better player. Yes, he was a better player last
Okay.
year. I think he's a better player. He's been a better player for over a
Sure.
year now. The potential with Ace has never been a question. His athletic potential is not a question. Him being able to leak out and transition and get dunks is not a question. Him having high motor plays on defense is not a question. Consistency is a question. Emotional maturity is a question. Decision making is a question. But these
Sure.
questions exist for a lot of 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
A lot. 19 and 20-year-olds. He's old for his class. He measured smaller. When you compare him to Michael Porter Jr., who is a legit 6'10", he is 6'7" barefoot, 6'8" in shoes. That is not Michael Porter Jr. So the advantages that Porter has of the additional inches, plus the fact that Porter was a better player at the same age, that scares me a little bit. Now,
But
pump the
Pin, though,
brakes-
you
pump
you
the
are
brakes on the 25 points because a lot of that shit was empty. A lot of that shit was
see.
very, very open.
I disagree. You can't say that his 25 points was empty when he's literally the reason why he's getting that 25 points. When I'm cutting, when I'm being in the right place, when I'm literally blowing up the pick and roll, tipping the ball out and going and getting it. Like you can't say that. And also too, my thing is if you play the game the right way, the game is going to come back and give you good things. It's almost like karma. He played the game the right way last night. He did something that a lot of us, quite frankly, didn't think he could do. We thought Ace Bailey, when you thought of Ace Bailey prior to last night, you thought of dribble, crazy shot. Dribble, step back, crazy shot. Dribble, force a ball into traffic. He didn't do that last night, Pin.
I watched enough of him in high school to know that he's a really good transition athlete, that he's a smart cutter, that he's capable of all this stuff. In fact, sometimes
And you know he just turned 19, by the way, like last month. He just turned 19. You said he was old for his draft class. He just turned 19. I just want to put that out there, but keep going.
my mistake, actually. So
That's fine. No problem. No,
I think it was
no
Harper
problem.
who was old for his draft class. My mistake.
Sure.
Confusing.
No problem.
So
we
the
still
point
go.
the point here is that this is a player who has tremendous potential, and it's really difficult to judge him in a situation like Rutgers. Really difficult. His teammates were awful, genuinely awful, right? So I'm curious to see how this will materialize. I hope that the emotional maturity stuff squares itself out, that he has people in his corner telling him to be humble and wait his turn. He's going to be a hell of a lot better than Cody Williams. And I 100% think he can be the face of the Utah Jazz. I believe that. I really do.
And he's in the perfect situation for it. He's in the perfect situation.
I wish he had gone somewhere else. For me personally, I wish he had gone to Brooklyn. I wish he had gone to Washington. I wish he had gone to a place which more aligns with like the city, him, his people wanting to be there.
Philly.
I don't know if this is gonna be a long-term thing for him in Utah because I don't see this guy sticking out 8 years of his life in Utah.
Pin, I at first I started to feel that way last night. I swear to you. And then I thought about it and I was like, you know why this is actually cool? When have we ever seen, and chill, you can chime in on this too, you being a historian. When have we ever seen a guy of this archetype play in Utah? When's the last time? A high-flying wing that's a dynamic player of that archetype.
More
Andre Kalinko.
more like
Andre Karolinko.
Or I was to be honest with
Marshall?
you.
Call him
Paul
out.
Millsap?
He definitely a better athlete than Daniel Marshall.
Deontay Jordan.
Y'all, come on.
Better athlete than
When's-
Daniel Marshall?
When's the last time
Ace
we
Bailey
seen a
is better
player
athlete
like
than
this?
Daniel Marshall. Yes, he is. No doubt about that.
I don't know
I'm
how
thinking-
It's not the
I don't know how
archetype.
you
The last
define
time
an
you've seen
athlete.
like a scoring wing is Adrian Dantley, but like he's
You
not
see
the
what I'm
same
saying?
archetype. But that's the last
Well,
like,
Miles,
scoring.
Well,
centric
that
player.
settles it, man.
Well,
Ace
well,
Bailey,
well,
Adrian Dantley. Let's go.
No, we're not doing that, bro. No, we're not doing
Pin,
that.
we're not comparing him to Adrian
No.
Dantley or Daniel Marshall. I'm saying when's the
Just
last
saying
time we seen
it's
this?
an archetype that Utah hasn't seen in a
Yeah.
Well, since Moran brought it up, what he kind of reminds me of is a more athletic version of Thurl Bailey. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Because when I think about the athlete that Thurl Bailey was, slender, could get up and down the floor, really good in transition. John Stockton did everything he could to get him involved in offense. I think that Ace Bailey is a better athlete than Thurl Bailey, but kind of
You think
that
he's gonna be a
archetype
bench
of what
player
we're
too?
talking about. No, I don't think he's going to be a bench player. No,
Okay.
but that's why I said better athlete. That's why I said better scorer. But in terms of the archetype, like I said the same thing about, VJ Epskin. Do I think VJ Epskin is going to be Dwayne Wade? Do I think he's going to be Donovan Mitchell? No, but I do think that he is that archetype of two guard.
Why
moving
won't he be
forward.
Donovan Mitchell?
Why won't he be?
Do you know he had this very similar story of Donovan coming out, defensive guy, not a lot of offensive use in college, and then all of a sudden he put it on the floor like he did this year in summer league.
Yep.
And so far, I think VJ is going to be not just hitting with the Baylor, by the way, but I legit think VJ is about to be a legit star.
That just helps. That just helps.
Keontae's to be fair, Keontae's the only person that's like a Baylor biased, but everybody else is a hooper. Everybody else is a hooper for real.
The point that I was making was the archetype of player, Thurl Bailey. Since we're in Salt Lake City, that's the last athletic forward, because I think he's a better scorer and wing player than Brian Russell was, right? So I don't look at those.
I'm actually kind of curious, Mars.
I think he's a better.
I want to ask you this question because you were similarly kind of low on Ace, but you're higher than me, right? So I'm curious, which of these Portland Trailblazers players would you rather have than Ace Bailey? Toumani Camara, Ace Bailey.
But what are we talking about? Like, rather have if I'm trying to win a championship?
No, rather have right now to start building a championship roster. Like, if you were the Utah Jazz, would you rather have Toumani? Or would you rather have Ace? I'm kind of comparing archetypes.
I'd rather have Ace.
Okay. Would you rather have Shaden Sharp? Or would you rather have Ace?
I was
Don't ask Mars that.
I'd rather have Shaden. Toumani's 25, by the way, just so you guys know.
Fair. Would you rather have Denny Avdia, or would you rather have Ace? Both wings.
Denny.
Okay.
Swipe
Cool.
you unmuted, by the way. But
I think what you're saying is the Portland Trailblazers have a much better future than the Utah Jazz.
All right, and y'all, we about to transition to Portland.
They do. I think they do. Yeah.
We about to transition to Portland in a second. I just want to hear from you guys. Do you think that the Utah Jazz, obviously we've seen just one game of them. They got new players. They've shuffled some things around. Do we think that they'll win more than 25 games this season? They won 17 last year. You guys tell me.
Well, how healthy are they going to be this year? That's really the only question.
They're going to shut down Lowry in February. If they win,
Larry's going to be gone by February, I think.
If they win 22, I think that's more than they would have hoped.
That's a championship right there. Plan the parade.
Yeah. Well, no, the championship for them is winning 6 games. They need that number 1 pick. But I would probably. I would venture to say they win about 14 games. I'd venture to say they win about 14 games.
They might be
14. If you win 35, you might have a better chance.
They're actively trying to lose, Ron. And the West is stacked. So it's not going to be hard.
To be fair, though, if they're like in a situation where they're healthy, because you got to remember Taylor Hendricks has been in and out of lineup. Obviously,
Taylor
got Kyle
Filipowski.
Cool. Keontae George, and then you add Cody Williams if he develops over the summer. He's just super raw. Sensabaugh, and now Ace Bailey, now Walker Kessler, and then you get a year, you get 55 games of Lauri Markkanen. I'm not gonna lie to you, Mars. If I said that, if I took that roster to roster, that wouldn't be the worst, the bottom 4 team in the East, maybe. So there's a world in which they win 25 games, but I don't know if they're going to be healthy enough. They'll probably stagger them night in, night out. They all won't play together every night.
If they tried to win, for whatever reason, if they tried to win, they could get to 28 wins. Like, if they were seeking wins and they weren't tanking, they wouldn't pull Lauri Markkanen out in the 4th quarter of a close game. If they tried to win, they could get 28, maybe 30. But knowing they're trying to tank, knowing what the agenda is in Utah,
I think they're really far away.
14 to 18 wins is where I have
the golden number is 37. Okay.
For what?
I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, because as we know, this is the golden number. Because chill, you may not know this, but the number of wins that the average team that has won the first overall pick the last 2 years is 37.5.
Mm-hmm.
The Mavericks won 39 games last year. Atlanta won 36. So 37.5 is the number if I'm the Utah Jazz.
But only except to
It's
your
terrible
point,
math,
Penn, they
but
would
whatever.
only to your point, Penn, they would have to be that. So if you look at the landscape of the Western Conference, OKC, Houston, the Lakers, Denver, Clippers, Minnesota, Golden State, Memphis, Sacramento, Dallas, Phoenix, Trailblazers, San Antonio, New Orleans, they ain't better than none of them.
No,
Chill.
the worst team in the conference, and I think everyone knows
they'll
that.
win
The worst
9
team in the
games.
conference.
Okay,
They're not better than any of those
they're
teams.
horrible. I'm just telling you.
So you think they're going to be 2012 Bobcats?
It's
No, they'll be
hard
better
with
than
Laurie to be 2012 Bobcats. Like Laurie and Walker Kessler are legit NBA players. But if they shut those two down, if they trade those two and they go out with Ace Bailey and Filipowski and Keontae George and Bryce Sensabaugh and Isaiah Collier, holy shit.
Taylor Hendricks was getting busy last night.
I liked Hendricks when he got
I
drafted
like
too. It was a
Taylor.
shame
I
when he
like
broke
Taylor
his
as
leg,
well.
but it's nice to see. Also, it's not this the division, different conference. Nice to see James Wiseman back on an NBA court after tearing his Achilles. So just thought that was cool.
How do you
But
like?
yeah, Utah worst team in the conference. I think we.
Oh, never mind. Isaiah Jackson's coming back this year too. That'd be a good addition for the Pacers.
James Wiseman's back in less than a year from an Achilles tear. Just for what it's worth.
Hey, it might be something in the water.
He's also very.
It might be something now in that medical water. But shout out to everybody that has returned from injury. Shout out to everybody that's here right now. And we talked about the Jazz losing a lot. But let's talk about you guys winning a lot. Now, on Splash Sports, who this show is brought to you by, you have an opportunity to make your picks and win good amounts of cash. Cold hard cash. We call it Splash Cash when you hit. Now, the link is in the description. The QR code is on the screen, and you have the opportunity to make the best decision you've ever made by making 2 or more picks with 2 or more players in whatever sport that is that you like, whether WNBA, NBA, college football, MLB, however you want to do it. You have the option to choose the players within these sports, and you simply choose more or less on their player predictions. It's so easy that even Big Ox can do it. And we all know Big Ox isn't really, he doesn't really have... You get what I'm saying. But the thing about Splash Sports is you compete against fans. You don't compete against the other house. So if you pick 5 picks, and if you play $10, you will be paired against other people that paid $10 and made 5 picks. And the person who gets the most picks in there will take home the prize. Similar to Swiper last night. Swiper, this what you did?
Yeah, I've been on a little bit of a hot streak, NFL, and one of the great things about Splash, y'all, is that when you're competing against other players, what it does is it ranks you based on the picks you made and the amount of money that you've allotted towards your picks. So basically, it puts you in a tier system, and if you tie first place or get first place, even if you don't hit all of your more or lesses, you still get money. So I got a 5 of 6 the other night in the NFL, and then back-to-back days, I get 3 of 3. Here with Agent Wilson, who's been dominating, obviously. That was easy. Jackie Young, points and assists was 22.5. Penn, that was incredibly low. And then we had, obviously, Alyssa Thomas, who, if you have been tracking, her scoring hasn't been consistent. But she is a triple-double merchant and is putting up a lot of points, rebounds, and assists. That was easy, y'all. And then one of the great things about this, too, is Mars, Chill, Penn, is that when you do this, you actually have an opportunity to use the boost every single Wednesday as well. They got Wednesday boost, they got WNBA boost. So I put a 30% boost on this, and it tripled. It gave me a higher third of what I actually put in was supposed to get originally. So shout out, man. Like Splash Sports is really doing good business, y'all. And just so y'all understand, Ron Heaston hit a couple times on some different things. I have made a good bit of money on Player's Choice. So, like, this is definitely the way to follow. There are people that are better than me at it. I know Penn is really good at this analytical and math stuff when it comes to this stuff as well. But I'm not too bad myself, and so my record is holding up pretty well so far.
All right, and as you guys know, this game is called Quick Picks, where you pick players and you choose more or less. When you play for the first time, Splash Sports will match your first $50, and they'll give you a 100% boost on your first entry. Make sure you use code PLAYER, and make sure you like the stream. Make sure you subscribe. Shout out to everybody on TikTok. Shout out to everybody on Twitter. Shout out to everybody on Facebook. We're going to keep it pushing.
Did you give
the next team? What'd you say?
Did you give the ones for tonight already?
Nah. We'll give those later.
For sure.
I just wanted to show people about the good earnings and the winnings that my man Swiper is bringing to the table.
Show me the money. Hey, what's that? What was that? The car dealership, Ron? That video came out like 4 years ago. When the dude wanted, it was somebody in the chat know what I'm talking about. When the dude made the crazy deal on the car dealership, I have to remember it, but that's gonna be my little thing for now. Every time I win, I'm gonna start doing that dance in the song. Every time, it's gonna be a money dance. Shout out, man. Shout out.
Shout out the money dance, man. All right. The next team we're gonna talk about is the Portland Trailblazers. Pim brought them up a little bit ago, but how do we feel about the Blazers? I know some of us here are high on them, some of us here are low on them, but let's talk about them.
They cost a lot of people a lot of money last night.
They looked good last night.
Just in the preseason?
Yeah, blowing that lead was crazy, man. Oh my god.
I think
They look good last season. I know. Chill. Maybe you should go because I know you're pretty high on them.
Chill should think we start.
Yes. So when Chauncey Billups first got this job, you know, I know a lot of you guys up here, particularly Mars, wasn't really happy with him because, you know, he really wasn't. I mean, he didn't know what he was doing. He had just gotten the job. Scoot wasn't really turning out to be what we thought that he was going to be. But then it started to work. I think he started to put Scoot in different spaces. He made Scoot more of a rotation guy. He did start him, but then he made him a more of a rotation guy, gave him energy coming off the bench. And then that equated into him now being in the starting lineup. And then with him doing that, he had the offense where Scoot now gets downhill more. That's more of his strength. With Scoot getting downhill more, which being more of his strength and getting to the rim, I think that developed his confidence as one, a scorer, and two, a ball handler. Then we get guys like Kamara, who is one of the better defenders in the league, who really wasn't somebody that we were talking about initially, but then he turned out to be one of the better defenders in the league in terms of him, which I didn't really pay attention to. Like, his hands stay busy. I think he covers a lot of space. With him covering a lot of space, he's really physical. And I think that's enhanced his ability to defend, especially as a smart defender. So now we got that going on. I wasn't really sure about Klingon because I thought that Klingon was, for lack of a better term, clunky. One of those big guys that, you know, was lumbering, only except he looked really good on the defensive end. And thinking about who Chauncey Billups is playing for that Detroit Pistons team, I think that was his mantra with this Trailblazer unit. I think offensively, Danny Advia, he's a lot better than what I thought he was. In fact, I didn't realize he was 6'9". I thought he was like 6'6", 6'7". I did not know he was that big. I remember watching him a little bit in Washington, but I wasn't blown away. I really liked what I saw from him in Portland. I love the fact that he comes off screens with confidence. I love the fact that he handles the basketball in the half court and he looks for other guys, but he looks for his offense and he takes really good shots. I love that about him. And I love their rotation too. So I think that this team, considering what the Western Conference is and the fact that they get Damian Lillard back, just for right now as a consultant, if they get him, and I think that Scoot's really going to benefit from that because Scoot can see how the game is being played from the eyes of Damian Lillard. Because he sees it from Chauncey Billups, but also from Damian Lillard as a bucket getter. I think that's really going to help them. I think this team, they won 36 games last year. I think they can win anywhere between 42 to 45 games. I think they're going to be that good. And if Robert Williams can stay healthy, I think their defense is going to be even better. I don't think Hansen is there yet in terms of being a contributing rotation guy. I do think that he's going to play some minutes, but I don't think he's there yet as a contributing rotation guy. But I do like this Trailblazer team to make the playoffs this season.
He fouled out yesterday.
I think they're a nice team, Chill, to your point. I thought they looked really good last night. I like the rotation. I think there's something to be said about NBA teams that just play hard as shit. And I think that the Blazers are one of those teams. They're well coached. Billups asks a lot of them. They went on that crazy run last year, nearly made the play-in. So they were 36 wins last year, Chill, and they were out of the play-in picture by 3 games. So I can see that going up for sure.
I think we were 2 weeks before the playoffs started, and they were like 2 games out the playing spot. And
they won like 15 to 17 games in a row or something crazy, which they stormed all the way nearly to the play-in. So I can see them being in the play-in mix. I think the West is too hard for me to get all the way there with a genuine playoff team, but I think they're going to be in the play-in mix. Because they're only 3 games out from it last year. They're going to get better than that. So, and Shaden Sharp looked great, by the way, Mars. Your guy.
Hey, you don't got to tell me.
I'm a big Shaden Sharp guy as well. So
I've been here. You're gonna be healthy this year. We're gonna see. I've been invested in Portland. And then Cho kind of stole my thunder because he's been way higher on them the last few months than I have. But I'm intrigued. I think their ceiling is probably sneaking in the play-in 9-10. Like, that's probably the best case scenario for them. But this is a team that had a really good defense kind of once they took DeAndre Ayton out of their rotation. Not straight at DeAndre Ayton, just the timeline. Donovan Clingan is someone who I think was a really good rookie defender, just had some issues with conditioning and some fouling issues, but nothing to be surprised about when you're a rookie center. But his rim protection is legit. Tamani is someone who I said is one of the most versatile defenders in the NBA. Been very high on Tamani since his rookie year. Seeing his growth offensively is going to be intriguing. I saw some more ball handling going on last night, which was something that I've been invested in a little bit just to see Portland's offense be a lot less stagnant. That's something that listening to them all throughout training camp and Chauncey and everyone, there's basically saying that their offense is going to have a lot more motion, a lot more movement, a lot less having people just run to the same spots, be stagnant and kind of just wait it out. But he also said there's going to be a learning curve with that type of offense, which I can understand when you have a young team who are playing a new style of offense. So I think that could lead to some growing pains. But what I'm invested in is Denny Avdia, someone who I've been high on since Washington. Really dynamic point forward who can get downhill, really skilled slasher, really fast in transition in the open court, good feel as a passer. And then Shaden is someone who I've been invested in. I think he's their most talented scorer on the roster. The biggest issue I think I've had with him as a scorer has just been the ability to make threes with consistency. But last night and everything I've seen in training camp, everyone's been impressed with him. If he's really able to make threes at a solid clip, 36, 37%, he's already one of the best finishing guards in the NBA. And that's not just because he can dunk on people. His touch, his ability to get to the rim and finish and contort his body is really good. He has really big hands, so he doesn't lose the ball like some other two guards who I know. That's a shade at you, Jalen Green. Just really talented, really explosive. I think Drew's going to be good for them. Robert Williams staying healthy. He's not even healthy right now, so it's like Robert Williams getting healthy and then playing is going to be a big deal. So overall, like there's question marks in terms of the health. I think their defense is going to be really good. I'd expect them to be a top 10-ish defense. I don't have it mapped out, but a top 10-ish defense, probably still a below average offense, but that can sneak you in the back door of the play. And if everything goes right and you're able to be healthy and another team is maybe able to be unhealthy, that could maybe sneak you in at the 10 seed. But if I was a betting man, I would say this team is probably an 11 or 12 seed, but a very exciting young 11 or 12 seed.
The reason why I didn't bring up Drew Holiday is I don't know how bought in he is. I think he's one of those 1 foot out the door kind of guys. I think that on the surface it looks like he's here, but I feel like he's I feel like he's, the minute I can get an opportunity to get out of here, I'm gone. So I don't really know how bought in he is with this Portland crew. I really think he can help Scoop.
Why?
I really
Why do
think
you
he can
think
help.
that? Why do you think
Well,
that?
Because he's old. No other reason.
Well, not old.
Because Chill's old?
Because he's been playing for championships the last 4 years.
That's where I was going. Thank you very much.
They're
Mark. That's
competing
exactly
for the
what
playoffs this year. And
Okay,
so
there's a difference between competing
he
for the
was competing
playoffs
for
and being one of
championships,
the.
by the way, in 2023.
Well, Drew's a good professional because everything he said
specifically wanted to
sounded
ask
like he's invested. And
Yeah.
he's
I specifically
It does sound like he's invested, but I mean,
But the initial reports weren't chill. The initial reports were he didn't want to go to Portland when he first got traded.
Not only that, remember where we came from. He comes from New Orleans, where they were fighting for a playoff spot, and he gets and they were actually competing in the playoffs, to Milwaukee, to being a championship contender, to now going to Portland, which is now trying to start this thing over again. And I don't really have that much time. But Drew Holiday is 35 years old, guys. Drew Holiday isn't a young pup, right? He doesn't have that many years left. So
he's also a two-time champion, so
Yes, he is. He's also a two-time champion. But when I get an opportunity to play on a team like the Celtics, right, where we win an NBA championship, or Milwaukee, like we win an NBA championship, I'm really not interested in going to somewhere and just collecting a check. Especially when I can still play. And on top of that, in Portland, right? I know he's a West Coast guy, but in Portland, I don't think that Portland is exactly the ideal place.
It's a beautiful city.
Who do you think Drew?
Oh, it's
Holiday
great.
Is?
I think it's a basketball city, but I'm not.
His wife plays soccer. That's a wonderful soccer place. Like that's one of the probably 5 best soccer markets in the U.S. I mean, that's a great place. It's a great place to raise a family.
UCLA.
Yo, Mars,
his wife played professionally too. So she got a break.
Yes, she did.
Mars, I want to ask you this question, and then Ox, obviously you live in Portland, so I want to just kind of get what's going on in the city. I want to know what's the buzz around the city about Portland. But right quick, Mars, first I want to ask you about the starting lineup. Denny, a lot of you guys have said Denny's their best player. Last night, albeit the preseason, he didn't start. Do you think Denny will come off the bench for this season, or do you think he'll end up in the starting lineup? He's going to start?
I don't know who's gonna start for any team really. Like I haven't really thought. If I was Chauncey Billups, my starting lineup would be Drew, Shaden, Tamani, Denny, and Donovan Clingan. That would be my starting five, and I don't really think too much about that. I think that's your best lineup. Does Jeremy Grant sneak his way into the starting lineup? Maybe. He wouldn't be in mine, but maybe. So I don't really. The starting lineup isn't really a question for me, personally. If I had to maybe try to answer questions about why Denny didn't start, maybe it was just he's coming off Eurobasket, maybe he was just experimenting with a lineup, whatever the case may be. But I don't know any team that's ever not started their best player, unless you're as high on Manu Ginobili as I am.
I was just about to say the Spurs.
Yeah, unless you're as high on Manu Ginobili as I am.
That's
I think that starting lineup should be Drew, Shaden, Denny, Tamani, and Clingan. I think that should be their starting five. And I think
what
that's
if they're just showcasing Jeremy for a trade?
Well, yeah, he did real good with that showcase.
By starting him, like, hey, man, he's so good. He's starting over Denny Avdia.
He's going to get bought out.
Pen, you could put this car on the showcase floor. It still costs what it costs. And you can dress it up to make it look whatever it looks like. It still
he was 2 for 11. He ain't exactly sell himself the best.
Exactly. I don't like the
Maybe he doesn't want to get traded. Maybe he likes Portland. Y'all said it's a nice city, right? Speaking of which, Ox, how nice of a city is it, and how do the people in Portland feel about the Blazers right now, and you specifically?
The people from what I know, from when I've been around, I've been in the houses, lately, but for the most part, when I'm out and talking to people, they're pretty optimistic about the team this year. Not as high as chill, but like for as far as the future goes, they're really high on Denny. Really high on Shaden. Kind of concerned about Jeremy Grant, although we all think he's still a good basketball player, just doesn't fit with this team any longer. Really high on the big fella, Donovan Clingan. So the Portland Trailblazers, as far as what I've seen, and I think we all can agree, they have a lot of talent. The issue, Chill, and you disagree with this, is Scoot. Most people are low on Scoot, and I'm low on Scoot as well. I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think he's gonna get much better. For me personally, I just think this Portland Trailblazers is gonna be one of those teams that towards the end of the season are beating good teams and kind of just throwing wrenches in people's game plans. You know what I mean? I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs. I don't think they're gonna make any type of playoff run. I think they'll be fighting for the play-in. So they're going to play spoiler a lot. I think they're going to play spoiler a lot. I think they're going to be that team that people aren't going to want to come to the Motor Center. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be like, oh, we should beat them, but we got to play. We can't, we can't be at Spice the night before. You know what I mean? You got to. Yeah, you got to
come down to being in Spice and winning that basketball game.
You got.
Hey, we got 82 basketball games.
Nah, you got to go to sleep when you're in Portland. I think that's kind of the consensus right now. I think you got to go to sleep when you're in Portland, and you got to wake up ready to play basketball. But I don't think this team is going to be a threat as far as making a deep playoff run. But they got a lot of good players, man. I'm so high on Denny. Chill. It was the same for me as it was for you. Like I watched Denny when he first came around. I was checking him out in Washington. But when I start going to watch him play in person, when I'm seeing how big he is in person, you know what I mean? Like that dude is big. He's fast. Like he's an athlete.
I did see him in the Eurobasket. Definitely a really good athlete. Yeah. I didn't realize he was that good of an athlete. I knew he was a damn good athlete.
Yeah, I was impressed, Joe. I was impressed. Shaden Sharp, I'm just not sure what he's going to be, but I think he has a lot of potential. So I think this is a good team. But
am I ridiculous?
The West is stacked, though, Chill.
It is 100%.
I don't understand. Ox. Does he not? Like you said, you don't think he's going to get better, but you say he has potential. I don't.
Oh no.
I said Scoot's not going to get much better, but Shaden has potential.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. I misunstood that.
Well, see, and that's where
Scoot did get better though last year.
Yeah, Chill is the Scoot believer up here. I'm not the highest on Scoot.
Of course you are. And my question to you guys is, how many times have you seen guys go backwards to go forward? Because I'm asking that question because before he got with Chauncey Billups, we had this Russell Westbrook athleticism tag on him, and I was like, okay, that's not there. He's not explosive. He's not nearly as explosive as Russ coming in. He ain't the bucket getter that Russ is coming in. He ain't the athlete that Russ is coming in. He's none of those things. So I think that they were trying to copy that when that's so not who he is. So then now he gets with Chauncey Billups, who's trying to turn him into a lead guard. And I think he's trying to turn him into a lead guard in the image of him. Be more of a floor leader. I can knock down open shots. Go off screens. And remember too, Ox, I'm still learning the pro game at this level. And I'm learning to play the pro game. And I'm learning to play the pro game like how this coach is teaching it to me. I can appreciate you guys' pessimism of Scoot because what you've seen so far. But I think we went backwards to go forward with him. And I think this is gonna work if they can keep them together and he can stay healthy. I think this is
Chill, you can't just be Chauncey Billups, Chill. You can't just be like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna be Chauncey. You can't do that. But my thing is, real quick, I don't got much to say, Swipe. I'm out the way. I just want to say, I feel like Scoot. You know, sometimes you draft a guy in the first round, and he's not a superstar. He's never gonna be your superstar. I think Scoot could potentially be like one of the best backup point guards in the NBA. In a little bit, I just don't see him being a lead guard that takes a team far at all. That's just how I look at Scoot, and that's not a knock. I think y'all know how I feel. I feel like your bench players are just as important as the guys that tip the ball off. So if you could come off that bench and play 8 to 21 minutes of really good basketball and keep that second unit afloat, that's a great role, and you should be proud to play that role.
I don't think.
I think he could be a better. I think he could be a better version of Kyle Lowry. I know that sounds crazy to you guys, but I think he can do that. I think he could be a.
When you say better, what do you mean by better?
What I mean is a more athletic, more efficient version of Kyle Lowry.
He's nowhere near
like better at basketball than Kyle Lowry.
Okay, no,
he's more athletic than Kyle Lowry for sure. Everything else, he's worse.
I think he's not more athletic than Kyle Lowry.
It took Kyle Lowry a while to be.
Yeah, I'm
good though.
I'm not saying I'm talking about the.
See, Ron, people only see Kyle Lowry as what he is today. They forget that he's been in the league. Kyle Lowry been in the league for 18 years.
He averaged like 5 points a game his rookie season.
He was not awesome when he first came in.
And he
played very much.
But Kyle played 4 years at Villanova, right?
No,
yes, he did.
How many did he?
How long was he? I
don't know.
I don't know. I'm asking. I'm legitimately asking. I don't know. But I know he was older before he got in the league, and I know he was older before he started really producing and
right, that's why he
having an impactful.
He did 2 years at Villanova.
Okay.
I'm
just a lot lower on this team.
Kyle was better. Look, to be clear, Kyle was better as a rookie. He just couldn't shoot. Okay, when he got to Toronto, he just couldn't shoot. That was the only thing. The Raptors gave up a first-round pick for him because he couldn't shoot and because he kept burning bridges with his coaches. That was it. That was the criticism. What Kyle Lowry was, he's a terrible defender, Joe. Now, I am not going to come up here and be a Scoot hater, but I hate the fact that you just compared him to Kyle Lowry. He is nowhere close to Kyle Lowry. If he becomes Kyle Lowry, that would be considered a magical turnaround on his career. He's nowhere near the athlete that we thought he was. One, so the athleticism a little bit overrated. I'm gonna say that. Okay. He's explosive at the rim, all that stuff. Yeah, in transition, he's great. Functional athleticism in the NBA is different. Okay. So what I'll say is they got rid of 2 of the worst parts of that team. To me, Anthony Simons, DeAndre Ayton. I think that's a little bit of addition by subtraction. I'm gonna be honest. Anthony Simons is a horrible defender. Shaedon Sharpe is not a great defender. Okay. Scoot Henderson is not a good defender either. He looks like he should be able to defend. He's athletic. He's got broad shoulders. He's very strong. So I understand that if you watch a single play where he gets a deflection or he gets a block, you're like, oh, Scoot could be a great defender. But the reality is his off-ball awareness is horrible. His pick and roll navigation is not great. He's just not effective. I don't know what to tell you.
Kyle Lowry?
Hold on, because I wanted to speak earlier and Pin went. So I think the issue is, because I can't yell today or talk loud. I think the issue is that
what's wrong, Swiper?
Shucks.
I think the issue is no troll. I don't have the energy to troll, honestly.
You good? You good, big guy?
No.
As you were saying,
would you like to start, Ron? Because I still have energy for that.
As you were saying,
did you get your halitosis? Did you get that checked out yet?
As you were saying, Swiper, the issue. As you were saying, Swiper, the
some
issue
of this is Portland last year. They had a top 10 defense from January to March, I believe. They were also a top 10 performing team for about like a month and a half or so. And then I remember, that's when Jamal had his 55-point game versus them when they were like on their run, and Shaden was playing like Scoot Henderson. To be fair, Penn had a run where he was shooting around 38 to 40% from three, and he was doing all the things that they needed him to do, and they were asking him to do. The problem is,
and it culminated in that Knicks game where he was amazing.
Yeah, he was moving really well. He looked like he was figuring it out. I think a lot of this is just going to be progression with him. You know, how do you continue to figure out the IQ side of playing NBA basketball, and somehow chill whitewash history, and he's now the Portland Trailblazers guy. But Donovan Clingan, I think it's going to be like a tier 1, like whatever that next tier underneath, like Jokic, Embiid, Wemby. I think Clingan can be there with Zubac and all of them within the next few years. Like, Clingan is that good. He's an excellent rim protector. Also, remember, they had him trying out shooting threes. I'm talking about shooting threes at like 1.2 a game. It wasn't anything worthwhile. But he has a nice post game. Like, he's somebody that's extremely strong. He's as big as, if size-wise, he's just as big as, like, almost Zoo, and then, you know, somebody like
bigger.
Yeah,
no,
like
he's huge.
Lopez.
I always say he looks like the biggest player in the league to me. Every time.
But how big is he legit?
I want
He's
to
big
say
in real life.
He's 7'2", 280. Like,
Go
ahead, Ox. Go ahead, Ox.
Real quick, Swiper. I just want to say he's not almost or anything. Like, when I'm seeing him, and mind you, I'm right here. He's bigger than these dudes. Like him, he made not look small, but look normal. You know what I'm saying? And you know how big Jonas Valanciunas is.
J-Val is 6'11", legit.
Yeah, no,
but I'm not even talking about all the way height.
Yeah,
I'm talking about
it's width, it's everything.
Yeah, even standing.
That's why he looks like the biggest man in the league. Like,
he's massive.
I don't know, like he doesn't have like the longest neck, so it's like all just body and arms, and he's just big. Like, it's
Swiper, that dude feels a door frame. I'm pretty sure he got to go like.
And he's only 21. He's not even 22 yet. He's listed at 7'2", y'all. Like, he's a massive mountain of a man. And so you add in the fact that he's already sound from a skill standpoint to be that size. He's already an elite rim protector, and he has a
really
fluid enough shot motion
as well. Really
he has a good enough shot motion where he could be like a plus shooter from the 6'10" area, like that DeAndre Ayton. Not to the quality, but like Zubac throwing the ball over the top of you on that little hook. And then you add him, you add Yang, Robert Williams, you add Drew, you add Shaden, Tamani, and like I think that team, they're not going to be a playoff team for me, but they'll be a team that is 100% competing for the play-in when they're fully healthy, and a team that's making it hard on you every single night. And now, I think taking Scoot out of it, Drew Holiday and your worst defender in your starting lineup is Shaden Sharp, but he's like a super plus athlete with Donovan Clingan, with Tamani Kamara, and then with Denny Advia. They're going to be really good. And remember, Denny Advia last year went on all-NBA run, not an all-star run, an all-NBA run. Remember, he was averaging like 24 on like crazy efficiency. And the transition points for him, like Chill loves transition. He was scoring like a demon in transition for like a month and a half there. You know, Josh Giddey, Kobe White, and, you know, Denny Advia all kind of had their little run last year at the same time. So, look, Penn, I'm with Chill. Like, I don't think they're going to be a playoff team, bro, but they're going to be a lot better than people realize. They're a lot more skilled than people realize. And I think Mars, you just needed a little bit of time with Chauncey Billups, because I think now that he has a really good roster around him, I think he's already proven his
might have been a bit. I might have been a bit. I'm fair. I can acknowledge.
It's interesting that there's like this little quadrant.
Yo, Pin, I'm about to grab the reins because we do got to get to a couple other things. I appreciate talking about the Portland Trailblazers. I hate to have to move the conversation on because personally, I would like to tell you guys how garbage I think they are, but we don't have time for that. We are actually going to transition into these super chats. It is the crunch time chat segment. I appreciate everybody that is watching the video. I appreciate everybody on Facebook. Game Day J, Athonis, Jamal Sparks, Vet T, and Connor Yogerson. They all like the video on Facebook. I appreciate everybody that's retweeted on Twitter. I appreciate everybody that's tapping in on YouTube, all the subscribers and the members, etc., etc. But as of right now, I know you guys are tired of bad takes. Not on this show. In real life. You know, the bad takes from your girlfriends or boyfriends. The bad takes from your teachers. The bad takes from your parents. The bad takes from the bad people in your life. Well, here's how you block out those bad takes and get rid of them. What you do is you put in your Raycon Everyday Earbud Classics, and when you do that, you won't have to hear that nonsense anymore because it will block out anything except for the panel that you need to listen to hear your good takes. They have multi-point connectivity so you can connect to different devices. They have up to 32 hours of battery life. And when you use code PCS, you will get 20% off. They have a lot of good colors too. They have the black colors. They have the mint green. They have the royal blue. They have the rose gold. And they just have, quite frankly, the best headphones out there. So what you guys need to do is go to Raycon.com. Get your Raycon Everyday Earbud Classics. Block out all the noise. Connect to multiple devices. And get the best headphones with the best battery. And you will also get them for 20% off. Like us up here. You see.
That takes from your girlfriend, Ron. That's crazy. You're trying to get somebody hurt today, bro.
Terrible take.
These worked really well this weekend when I would put them in when Ron was standing over drenched, sweating. I put these in there.
Swiper, why are you sick? Why all of a sudden, hey Morris, all of a sudden, I just want to talk to you, Morris. I don't want to talk to nobody else.
You see the picture we took on Twitter?
I don't want to talk to anybody else, Morris. I'm going to talk to you. Swiper and Jordan roomed together for 3 days, 4 days. Now all of a sudden they're both sick.
Porzingis?
Oh, that's crazy. Whoa, Mars. Yo.
Now they both sick. Jordan talking about he can't get out of bed. Jordan talking about he don't. Hey, you know how much Jordan like to talk. He ain't even talking now.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie. That's a mighty coincidence. That's
Ron, you know why? You know why he couldn't get out of bed?
Why couldn't he get out of bed?
There's only this much room in between Jordan's bed and the wall to go to the door, and Ron literally standing over him and sweating, looking like paranormal activity. hey, Morris. I'm talking about all white outfit. Let me tell you how. And Ron, he can't deny it.
Yo, nah, Swipe is disgusting, yo. We gotta get to these crunch time chats. But if y'all do want to hear about this story from Swiper, send through a $50 super chat and he'll tell you the story. Anything less than that, we're not doing it. No, nah.
Well,
so the first super chat.
Really quickly, Ron, Moss, to your point, you know, you look a lot better with it. You look a lot better with a good looking chick than you do with an ugly chick. You could be good looking and be with a chick that ain't good looking, and that could definitely hurt you. So I think with Chauncey Billups, I think this team's getting a lot better. So I think that's really making him as a coach look a lot better. But I don't want to discount the work that he's doing neither. I don't want to do that. No.
Yeah, I'm having a bit hasty. I'm fine to admit that.
Hey, Ron, by the way, I got to give you credit for your bike skills, bro. You bike fast as crap, bro. You really do from New Jack City, dog. Like, you got that energy. You feel me?
Pookie! Pookie!
Hey, chill, I couldn't even keep up. I'm behind like, Ron, slow down.
To be fair, you know,
chill. He put a couch on his back too. He had a couch on his back. It's like he stole it. Riding from the hotel.
I mean, to be fair, Swiper, you got a couch on your head, so it's kind of hard to bike with.
Hey, shout out,
all
Ron.
of that, you know?
Ron, hey, thank you. I had to buy more baby oil because of you. Yep, sure did. Had to buy. I had an order coming in from Amazon. I told you. Hey, shout out Ron. Shout out Ron. Shout out my dog, bro. That no people drenching his sweat.
All right. At the Buzzer Sports said the future five is any point guard / Darren Peterson, Ace Bailey, Kyle Flipowski, and Walker Kessler. Y'all like this?
Yeah. It's Darren.
Yeah, man, great lineup.
Darren Peterson not going to be the point guard?
He could play the two.
I like him at the two.
Where's Keontae in this? Is he not starting anymore?
He said any point guard, so it could be
Swiper,
Keontae.
You're like really high on Keontae.
I mean, he should be better.
I don't think Keontae's shown enough for you to justify how high you are.
He should be better. I'm saying that. It's his fault. It's his fault, but he should be better. He's gonna be a great backup somewhere. He'll get like reclaimed somehow. He won't get any money, and then he's gonna come off the bench somewhere. He's gonna be like dirty.
I think he could be a good backup. I can see that.
Elias47 said Asia MFN Wilson. Get
somebody
the
talk
out.
that shit now. I want y'all to talk that shit now.
Yeah, me and Arthur been here. Wait.
Ron. No, hold on, chill. Swiper, Ron,
me, I didn't pick the
anybody
Mercury.
got some shit to say?
Yeah, Satu got hurt.
You got some shit to say, Swiper?
Satu got hurt.
Satu
got a concussion.
That's because her little ass can't hang. She a little ass girl. That's why she got hurt.
I think she's the same size as Adrian, by the way.
No, because you out there with a big dog, you can't hang. Get your little ass out the way. That goes for all of them. Anybody. I don't want to hear nothing else out your mouth crazy about Asia Wilson.
Who doesn't believe Asia's the best in the world?
I don't want to hear nothing crazy out your mouth, but don't try to be nice now.
Ain't no
don't
nice.
Try to do that shit
I've been on Asia before I met you. What you talking about?
Oh man, she's y'all don't.
But chill. Did Satu or was she not cooking when she got hurt?
Same energy you had.
And then Kalia Cooper, what 11 straight yesterday? Chill after the free throws.
Ron,
Copper.
Pin. Anybody? Ron.
Who said anything about Asia?
Pick your damn head up, Pin. Pick your head up. Stand on your nuts, Pin. Be a man. Talk that shit. Go ahead. I want y'all to talk that shit.
I'm not a front runner.
Yeah, all right. Thought so. Go ahead, Ron.
Well, who's not an Asian fan up here? I'm trying to figure out who
go ahead, Ron. Next super chat.
And just so y'all know, this is the same Ox who, when Asia wasn't playing good, he disappeared on us.
I was in Hawaii, feet in the sand.
Sure,
I had my Ron hit me up, Dave hit me up, chill, because you took your vacation time a couple weeks before. I happened to have my vacation plan last year. It was a family trip. I was in Hawaii.
Coincidentally, when Asia wasn't good.
So what? I'm supposed to tell my family.
So he premeditated it by a year.
Yep.
I'm supposed to tell my family. Oh look, I got to cancel the trip because Asia played bad last night. What?
Man, Ox, you was going to Cancun to meet that girl. Stop lying. You knew she was on her way to Cancun.
What y'all telling me? I'm supposed to cancel a family trip because Asia missed a couple free throws?
Nah.
But Ox, hold on. But yesterday, can we be real though? Everybody that was supposed to play well yesterday played well. Everybody. Alyssa didn't score well.
35 and 14. I don't care about what nobody else did.
No, but I'm saying, but her.
Hey, Ron, you got something to say about Jewel Lloyd?
Jewel was going crazy, dog.
Yeah,
you
Ron, it's been crickets over there.
Jewel Lloyd, Ron?
Yeah, Ron, it's been crickets over there, Ron, when it comes to Jewel Lloyd, because you was popping a lot of shit about her earlier, Ron. It's been crickets over there about her. I did notice that.
Jewel Lloyd is cold, dog.
I want you to say something about Jewel Lloyd right now, Ron. Please go ahead. Show some respect.
Ron.
Speak up, Ron.
Chest, Ron.
No. You know what? I got the next super chat. You sit there. You sit your ass in that corner. Styles Black. Ever seen a couple get cooked for a game winner?
A couple is crazy.
You ever seen a couple get cooked for a game winner? Was that both of them? Yeah, yes. It was both of them. The one was getting her ass cooked all game. Then she turned into AT and said, "Get your little ass up. I'm the motherfucking GOAT."
She had 5 fouls, to be fair.
MVP, D5, Finals MVP, all in the same season. Only Akeem ever did that. GOAT. AT ducked that smoke. She's done.
Hey, but DeWanna played well yesterday, though. What we
played great last year.
Bro, that shot, that three she hit to tie the game up, that was huge.
You know, because there's that one fan base out there that hate her, and I think a lot of them don't. You know, a lot of them, they new here, so they don't know that DeWanna's really a legend like that. So they don't really know.
There's a fan base that hates DeWanna. I ain't know that.
The Fever. He's talking about the Indiana Fever. I don't know. You can say it.
All right, I got you.
Yo, Morse, would I possibly be able to interest you in something fascinating? You know, a 3-0 comeback? You know, hey, Chill, you remember this? You remember this? Hey, Chill, you remember this? You remember when it was a certain team that was down 3-0 and you were saying that team in 7? Hey, Mars.
Are you here for it, Mars?
Hey, Mars, come on.
Mars, best case.
Like I said,
best case scenario, Mars, is that tomorrow night the Aces throw the game so that they can win it at home in Game 5. That's best case scenario.
Bro, if Satu's out, it's over. Like,
if Satu's not out, it's over.
No, but it wasn't going to be that way yesterday, though. I'm not going to do that.
It was definitely going to be that way yesterday.
I think they could have. I'm not saying they couldn't have won, but Satu was going crazy before she went down.
So
Ox was going crazy. So
Ox, are you saying because obviously we had to cancel the PCL because the PCL tomorrow night because we have other places we have to be. That other place happens to be in Phoenix for Game 4 of the WNBA Finals with YouTube. We will be there talking about the game, broadcasting the game, live in the flesh, on the court, or in the booth, wherever they're going to have us at. But are you saying that we are going to actually witness the Las Vegas Aces win the championship and sweep the Phoenix Mercury? Live and in person?
That should happen because, you know, we're just that much better than the Mercury. But like I said, the worst case scenario is that they throw the game to win it at home, which I don't think Becky will play like that. So, You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's what's gonna happen though. Tomorrow we will witness the Asia Wilson get Finals MVP and the Aces get another championship. I mean, it's in the cards, Ron. It's in the cards. I'm just happy.
4-3-4 is crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. In like five, 6 years? 4-3-4 in 6 years?
And a back-to-back too. Don't leave that out.
Come on, talk about that, Swiper.
And a back-to-back.
Hey, no messing around. We've never. I'm trying to think, Mars. I mean, Bill Russell, like Jordan, even didn't have that. Like I'm saying that we four.
Why
MVPs,
you wait, Swiper? Can I ask you a question?
DPOYs and 4 championships. Go ahead.
Why are you bringing up inferior basketball players like Bill Russell and Jordan? When we're talking about Asia Wilson,
the award just didn't exist.
Yeah, it didn't exist.
We're talking about Asia Wilson. Don't nobody want to hear about inferior basketball players like Michael Jordan and Bill Russell.
Me and real you though, like because I know you're emotional, like in a good way. In a good way.
Asia Wilson is the best basketball player to ever walk.
You think she's the best WNBA player ever?
I think she's the best basketball player to ever walk God's beautiful green earth.
No, you don't. You don't
then
think
why am I
that.
saying
No, you don't. The reason why you're saying it, you're saying it for content. That's what you're doing. You're saying it for content. That's why you're saying it. You don't believe that.
You clip farming?
You don't. You don't believe that.
Oh,
you not. Let me ask you a question. Okay, wait. Stop right here, Ron. Stop right here, Ron. Stop right here, Ron.
I stand with Ox. Other than Bill Russell, I stand with
Mars. You know me better than that,
Mars. Stay right here, Ron. Ron, stay right here. Ox, is she better?
And Mars, I've been saying this for multiple years already.
You have been.
I've been saying this for multiple.
Yes.
Is she better than Bam?
She's the best basketball player you have ever laid your eyes on.
Than Bam? Is she a better basketball
in her sport? 100%.
No. We're not doing that. Her sport thing.
Yeah, basketball is basketball.
We're talking about basketball.
Chill.
That's right, Mars.
Chill.
That's not fair. Chill.
Wait, hold on, Swiper. Let me ask you the question. Because chill. I was saying this before this season. I was saying this before she broke all those records last season. I've been telling you she's the best basketball player in the world. So after having a season like this, plus what she did last year, she is the best basketball player you have ever seen with your own two eyes.
What makes her the best basketball player ever, Ox? Go ahead. I'm listening.
No, but
Are
chill.
You not watching, chill?
Chill. He ain't talking about. He's not putting all the sports. He's not doing that. I mean, I love Ox. No. I know. Chill. I hear you. But I'm saying Ox is my dog, and I'm with Ox about like GOAT WNBA possible. But he knows how I feel about Maya Moore if Maya Moore would have kept running. So I'm saying that like I'm
Maya
cool.
Moore can't tie her practice.
No, I'm not doing. No. Don't be disrespectful. Don't be disrespectful. Don't be disrespectful.
Damn, Maya Moore.
No,
we ain't talking about Maya Moore.
He doesn't believe that just like if Asia Wilson walked in the NBA, she'd be what she is. He's not saying that. I know he doesn't believe that. Asia, among female basketball players, has an argument as the best of all time. Yes, 100%. No shadow of a doubt. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Best basketball player ever. I think
I have nothing left to say.
And she's someone who, like, I didn't follow the WNBA that much, like in depth, like the NBA. But when I was watching her yesterday, she's someone. When we talk about that it's star-driven leagues and the game's great because of the stars, watching her can make you fall in love with the WNBA. And I think that's a really cool thing. You
could have just ended at fall in love, and then you're right. But WNBA too.
Damien, did you hear what Holly Rose said yesterday? It's a religious experience watching Asia Wilson play basketball.
She's crazy, bro.
Those are words straight from Holly Rose's mouth.
She's strong.
It is a religious experience.
Everything.
You know what she is, Damien? She's Tim Duncan times, not plus. She's Tim Duncan times Kevin Garnett, just better. She's Tim Duncan multiplied by Kevin Garnett, just better.
You still staying with Oxmars?
Yeah, I stand with Ox.
All right, y'all. I just got breaking news. Shams just tweeted, and this is what he said word for word. This just in. The USA Basketball is expected to name Erik Spoelstra as the new head coach of the men's national team. Spoelstra succeeds Steve Kerr for the next World Cup and the 2028 Summer Olympics after serving as the lead assistant for Team USA's 2024 gold medal squad. Fellas, how do we feel about Erik Spoelstra taking over?
Definitely.
Well deserved.
Good.
Ox, is this the best coaching story we've ever? Well, one of them. Modern coaching story we've ever heard. Go from like a video coordinator to being like the Olympic head coach.
Hey, just a kid from Portland that loves basketball. You know what I'm saying? Just a kid from Portland that loves basketball, worked his way up and got here. He should have been took over for Steve Kerr. And you know what? Now, I'm sorry, Swiper. I'm sorry, Penn, but the rest of the world will never catch us now.
Okay. My first thought was how he's going to utilize like Tatum and them in 2028. I'm really excited to see what he does.
Steve Kerr hating ass to keep benching Jason Tatum.
Well, LeBron and Durant and Steph probably won't be there, so maybe
he'll still find
a way. Swipe it to you.
Why are you sorry to us? You got two people who don't even live in North America up here. Why aren't you sorry to them? Ozzy and Britt.
Yo, chill.
They're realistic. They're realistic.
Yo, chill. How do you feel about Eric Spoelstra being the head coach?
Well, to Swiper's point, not only to be a videographer, we're talking about a videographer for one organization. Like I haven't been bouncing around the league, and I was an assistant in Brooklyn, and then I went to Minnesota.
He wasn't a videographer, to be clear.
What, video coordinator?
Video coordinator.
That's what I said. That's what I said, right?
You used to video coordinator.
Okay, yeah. So just make sure chill.
Videographer is like a guy who records shit. Yeah. A video coordinator is a guy who breaks down.
He's breaking down tape. That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
Okay, my fault. I apologize. Yeah. I apologize. So he's breaking down. So he goes from the guy breaking down tape. Take these tapes, break them down. He goes from all the way. He goes from that in a 10-year span, 10, 12-year span to being the head coach of the Miami.
Crazy.
Taking his team to NBA championships. Never winning coach of the year. These how many times he's been coach of the year, by the way. Spoelstra has never been coach of the year. And he has been the best coach in the game for quite some time now. And now he's got the Olympic job. And I think he's doing a great job considering what they got going on down there, Ron. I watched that San Antonio Miami Heat game yesterday. This team is not as far away as you think they are, man. They not. I love this kid Khalil Ware, and I love what he's doing with him, yo. I love it. And I know that this sounds crazy. I know this might sound crazy to you, and this ain't clip farming. This kid Khalil Ware is onto something special. I think this kid is going to be really special with him and Bam now playing the 4. And I think Eric Spoelstra has done a great job with this group. I think that they're picking up the telephone and calling up the Charlotte Hornets and checking the temperature on Colin Sexton away from challenging in the Eastern Conference.
Chill. I think they're already really good. How long is Tyler Hero out? Charlotte. How long is Tyler Hero out?
I think he'll be out
8 weeks or so.
Yeah, I think he'll be out another month.
Even without Tyler, I think they're still going to be able to have some competitive games. I don't know about wins and losses until he gets back. But I told y'all a couple months ago, even before they got Norman Powell, I'm high on Miami. I'm high on Miami, y'all. I think y'all should watch out for this.
Fellas. I'm reeling this back.
Last thing about Eric Spoelstra, Ron. Last thing about Eric Spoelstra. I just want y'all to remember, he survived LeBron James. Like that right there alone. Like he survived LeBron James. So
yeah, I can get with that.
Any other thoughts on Eric Spoelstra, Damian, Mars, Penn, Eric Spoelstra being Team USA's new head coach?
Salute.
I'm happy for him. Like we said, it's a great story. He's probably next in line. He makes sense. One of the best coaches in the league, if not the best. So I think Team USA is going to need it, though. I think Team USA is going to need every bit of it in 28. So he's probably the right hire for that.
I'm surprised you ain't tapped into the WNBA, Damien, considering Lauren Jackson being an Aussie.
Yes, being a legend. We're getting
shout
there.
out, Lauren.
Yeah, shout out.
She was awesome.
We're getting there.
Shout out Lauren Jackson for sure.
Mars, Penn, Eric Spoelstra.
I think salute.
Okay.
Yeah, of course you don't care, Mars.
All right.
You already on the coaching stuff. What different? It's not going to be very different. He was already there.
All right, y'all. I only got to read one I got to read 2, and then the show was hijacked, and then Ox read 1. But let me read a couple more, and then we have 3 more teams in the Northwest Division. Now, everybody, things are going to get fun because we are going to be talking about the defending champion, Oklahoma City Thunder. We are going to be talking about a former champion, 3-time MVP, and who a lot of people believe is the best player in the world, Nikola Jokic. And we are going to be talking about a guy who potentially can jump into that MVP conversation, and a team that has went to back-to-back Western Conference Finals, the Minnesota Timberwolves and Anthony Edwards. But before we do that, Tupac Westside sent through another super chat, and he said, "Morning, folks. Have you guys seen any of those horrible Tubi movie scenes? I died laughing every time."
Hey, Pac, I be watching some of them actors, and I be thinking to myself, I could do a better job than it. And I ain't even an actor, but I'm like, yo, I could do that. I could definitely do
Ron,
that.
you would be great in a Tubi film. I think you should try out.
Them dudes are, oh my goodness.
I don't know about Tubi.
Hey, if they paying, I'm playing.
If you remember, Chill, I told y'all, so last year, a year from pretty much right now. Last year, if y'all remember, I was in that movie, but I only had 2 scenes. That's actually I just got word it's going to be coming out here pretty soon. So when it drops,
you gotta make sure you let me know.
Oh, you got a Tubi movie dropping, Ox?
Because I don't even know if it's going to be on Tubi, bro. I just know. Oh, girl, that was the star. She messaged me on Instagram like, did the director tell you they're almost done editing and wrapping it up?
Dope.
I'm like,
yeah,
shit.
send me the link. I want to see it.
Yeah, that's nice.
You got lines in it, Ox?
I mean, barely.
Okay, I don't care. I mean, if you got a couple lines in it, that's dope. I want to see it. No doubt.
I said like 2 things, but hey.
I love that.
I want to see that.
Tubi is a great app. I just want to say, like, their content team, like the people who pick what movies are going to be on, it's amazing. Like, they select some deep cuts from some great festivals across the world, from Carlo Vivari to Sundance. I would suggest people get comfortable with Tubi's library. Not Tubi originals. I'm not talking about those movies. I'm not talking about the movies y'all talking about, but like some of the foreign films on there, they're very, very good. So very good
foreign films.
You spitting, Pin. You spitting. They got a lot of good stuff.
What did you play, Ox? Like, because you in a couple of scenes. What exactly? I played. So the main character's little sister, I played her cheating boyfriend.
Oh, nice.
You're a scumbag. You're a scumbag. I got you.
90% of directing is casting.
Okay.
So
she catches us getting out the car, and like she gets to pushing on us and stuff, and I'm pretty much just like apologizing. And
you seen that scene before?
Bro, come on, bro.
All right, we got another super chat from Pimp Named Slickback. Pimp Named Slickback said Ace Bailey discourse basically comes down to spreadsheet fans that don't like having to say I was wrong. It's like asking them to drink poison. Is anybody up here being forced to drink poison?
no, I'm not being forced to drink poison. I just don't think he maps the court that well. But if he does map the court better, if the game slows down for him, amazing, right? So again, I think as a highly touted 5-star recruit going into collegiate basketball, there's a lot of expectations, and he did not meet those expectations in terms of efficiency. Once again, the supporting cast was awful. So I've always wondered, what does his deviation from normal expectations mean about him? What does it mean when he hires Omar Cooper? What does it mean that he chose to go to Rutgers as opposed to a traditional Power 5 school? Like, what does it mean that he didn't go to Duke or a winning program? One side of me says that he doesn't care about winning. On the other side of me, it says he's confident enough to blaze his own path.
You feel like that about Debansa as well?
No, I don't, because I love AJ Debansa. Totally different situation.
But you know New Jersey.
But you know I love this dude, Joe.
But you know New Jersey, bro. Like, New Jersey got bread, bro. He probably got money to play over there at Rutgers. Him and Dylan Harper both went there.
AJ's big reason for going to BYU, and I just interviewed his.
It's because he's a sellout. That's why.
Oh, please stop.
Yeah, let me hear about BYU. The worst, maybe the worst history of any school that exists in D1. Let me hear why he went to BYU, please.
Yeah. Let's hear that, Pin.
They got a professional. So I just interviewed his trainer. Shout outs to John McCall.
Yeah, shout out trainer.
And he's also, he's trained Amen Thompson, Azar Thompson, Jalen Green. He's Tyron Stokes, AJ Debansa. This dude has them all. He has the future of athleticism is in his hands. Let's just put it that way. AJ went to BYU because they got the best infrastructure.
Yeah,
they got NBA. They have money.
They got the best sum over there.
Do you know a black man at BYU, dog, at Utah, at Brigham Young? Come on, bro.
Yeah, but he played with Utah.
You know how much money you had to give him to go there?
That shit. Like,
it's mine, right?
Man,
he don't.
AJ ain't like AJ just started playing 2K.
Chill, you were in Utah.
You understand like what a weird dude this is? He's 18 years old. He just started playing 2K. All right. This is like, I don't think y'all understand. This guy played 60 games last year in high school basketball. 60 games. He guarded the best player on every single night. This is
look at Ron. I'm with Ron.
Right now, he waking up at 4:30 in the morning. He has never had more structure in his life.
That's impressive. I'll give him that. Everything else you said, that shit don't mean nothing. But that is impressive.
Clip this, bookmark this, come back to this in a year. AJ Debansa is going to tear up Division I basketball this year.
Who disagrees with you up here?
Yeah, that's not really news.
I don't think anybody
This guy,
disagrees with you.
This guy right here.
No, don't do that. Do not do that. That is not news, Pin. We expect AJ a number 1 pick or number 2 or number 3 at worst. We expect him to tear up the
and only reason I brought up AJ is because that's the same logic that applies to Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey, by the way. But you just
second best.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. First of all, no, it doesn't. Dylan Harper.
Carlos Boozer, third best.
Oh Lord, help me, God.
Cam Boozer. We had this conversation. Cam Boozer is better. Cam Boozer is better than AJ. Who's
AJ Debonta.
AJ.
So much more
Cam Boozer is better than AJ Debonta. Sure.
You're not no. AJ Debonta is on the level of Cooper Flagg, Cade Cunningham. If we're talking high school basketball players over the last few years, those are
what level is Cam Boozer on?
He on that level too.
Jaleel Okafor?
No.
What level is Darren Peterson?
Darren Peterson's on that level too. So
I've heard Kobe comps with Darren Peterson.
The good thing about the Utah Jazz is you don't got one chance to find your next friend. You don't have one chance to find your franchise player. You might have 3 to 4. And also, I think there's a lot of good depth in the draft with Dash Daniels, who I love, by the way. Love Dash Daniels. Friend of mine interviewed him. I think you've interviewed him. Have you interviewed him? You've interviewed him as well, right, Damien?
Mm-hmm.
So just a humble kid, very, very good basketball player. So there's gonna be a lot of value to losing, and expect some teams to completely tear it down by January.
Since we're on the topic though,
in college basketball.
Since we're on the topic, Damien, what's your thoughts on Dash Daniels? In case you guys don't know, that's Dyson Daniels' little brother. He's projected to be top 10 next year?
Yeah, so I spoke to him a few days ago, just about where his game's at, how he stacked up against NBA talent when they came down New Orleans when I covered them. He's probably the 5th or 6th time I've seen him in person. He's a little bit behind where Dyson was at the same time, but he's got all the defensive stuff. Like, he's projected 9th. He might slip a little depending on how he goes in the NBL this season, but he started off strong. First 3 games have been excellent. But like I said, the defensive stuff, it's the motor, it's the being able to get off screens, keeping guys in front of him, pressure on the rim, help defense, like everything defensively. He probably is going to be an all-NBA defender, even at the professional level. Like he's very, very good. He's going to be on our Olympic team as well. Very raw offensively, but he's shown enough. He's shown enough as a driver, as a cutter, as a slasher, that he's got some foundation there as well. So for whoever gets him, it's going to be a plus for their roster. But
how tall is he?
He's a little bit
I know
shorter.
Dyson's.
Dyson's probably 6'7". Yeah, genuine. He's probably 6'5.5", but he can grow still. He's only 17 now, 17, 18 now, so he could potentially still grow. Yeah,
the 6'9", just imagine.
Yeah,
it could happen.
So he's going to be really good. We're excited about him.
I just know that we went to we went to BYU my senior year and they whooped our ass. That's what I know.
Like y'all can probably already figure out how I feel about Utah as a state, and as a concept, and as a fan base. But I'm gonna say this.
I don't know what that means.
Utah as a concept.
Just get to your point. We don't gotta just get to your point. We don't gotta acknowledge that.
Boss is like,
as I'm saying, AJ gonna cook up at BYU, and BYU got a great program coming up there. Like, they really do. They have. You can say what you want about the money and the NIL.
Yeah, they're getting big money,
whatever.
Big latter-day money.
They got a lot of money. Okay, but what I'm saying is they've
invested
a lot of that money. A lot of that money is going into pro trainers, and I think from an athlete's perspective, when you go to BYU, you're working with the guy who trained Giannis. There's a lot of buy-in, and that's very important for a young athlete to have the buy-in and the belief that
they have $1 billion
organization. Well, that's the thing. Look at the Clippers. What Steve Ballmer did, right? Putting all that money into the Intuit Dome. Now, if I'm a Clipper, I feel real good going to the Clippers. I'm like, damn, my organization showing me some real love, putting all of this stuff here for me. So I don't feel too great about the history of the Clippers, but I do feel great about the concept of being a Clipper today. I feel like BYU is the Clippers of like the NCAA in that sense, that they have put a lot of money into infrastructure, into luring top athletes. They got Yegor Demon last year. I think it was a good proof of concept. They didn't hurt his stock. They raised his stock. In fact, they gave him the basketball. They allowed him to cook. I think AJ is so much better than Yegor Demon. I think
so. You acknowledge it's about money then?
Of course, part of it is about money, but how they're using that money too. Like, yeah, part of it is like, okay, money is going into AJ's pocket. Yeah, I get that. But
No,
also,
everything. Money
AJ a
is
better
everything.
basketball player.
That's all of it.
So to me, like at 19, 18, that's all I want for AJ is to become a better basketball player. That's it.
All right, y'all. You see the title of the show. The 2026 MVP will come from this division. So, fellas, before we talk about the Denver Nuggets specifically, before we talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder specifically, and before we talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves specifically, fellas, we are going to do something similar to, I guess, a start bench cut. MVP odds, and SGA and Jokic. Out of these three guys, who do you guys think has the best chance at getting an MVP this season?
So we're all
Damian, what?
We're all cutting Ant, right?
I don't know.
We're all cutting who, Mars?
Ant.
We're all cutting Anthony Edwards. Like that should be unanimous.
Well, we should cut everybody because Luka's getting MVP this year. So if we're going, if we're going to do it that way, Mars, you know what I'm saying?
But I was just doing it as in like we all know Ant has the lowest odds.
He does have the lowest odds.
I feel like that's
Chill, but chill. I feel like you're thinking differently. So you start.
The reason why is because I'm thinking about the leap that I saw last year from Anthony Edwards from the 23-24 season to the 24-25 season, and him shooting the basketball, how much better he got as a bucket getter and how much better Minnesota was, right? So then now with this group being what they are and him quote unquote being boring in the offseason and working on the stuff that's going to make him even more effective and make him an even a more proficient scorer, that kind of stuff, not just more of a proficient scorer. He does make the right reads. I got to give him credit for that. I mean, I don't like the off the ball stuff, and I'm thinking that that's going to improve. But in terms of a bucket getter, in terms of a slasher, in terms of a guy who finishes at the rim, I'm already on board saying that I think he's going to win the league MVP. I don't think that the odds are as far away as they were a year ago. I think that I do think that the gap will close this season.
So for
Where
Ant
do
to
you have
win
Minnesota finishing in Western Conference?
Anywhere between 5 and 7.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so
I think
there you go. Ant's last.
yeah. So I think for Ant to win it, and it's a good point swiper, you're probably going to have to be a top 4 seed, and he's probably going to have to average over 30 as a minimum. Because when you think about the MVP now, and guys like Jokic and SGA winning it or competing for it, you have to do something historic. Like we're at a time now in the NBA where if you're not doing something historic, combined with the narratives and all that stuff that goes into the NBA voting, you're not going to win. And we know Jokic is going to have historic numbers again. We know SGA is going to be the number 1 seed again, most likely. My only question would be, can SGA have another historic season? Because unless your name's Michael Jordan or Kobe, similar archetype, it's very hard to. But we know Jokic is going to put up numbers. Now, will they be a top 4 seed? I think so, Denver. The other thing is you don't really get voter fatigue yet after your first MVP. I think Shea's probably got 1 more before he gets voter fatigue, whereas Jokic already has 3. And if Jokic gets his 4th, all of a sudden you're in a very rarefied company where you only have a very few select guys that have got 4 MVPs. So there's all these other things that are going on because I think they're all going to have phenomenal seasons. I just don't think that Anthony Edwards is going to win enough games to be a top 4 seed. So I think it's between SGA and Jokic, but unless SGA can put another historic season together, it's going to be difficult.
MVP is a little bit like Coach of the Year in the sense that it comes down to what the expectation was and how you meet or exceed those expectations. So Anthony Edwards doesn't need to win more games than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to win MVP, in my opinion, right? Jokic doesn't need to win more games than Shai to win MVP. I think it'll come down to how did you meet or exceed expectations. I think the Denver Nuggets are supposed to be better this year. They lost, I believe the last year numbers, so I can correct me if I'm wrong. Last year, they lost their Jokic minutes by 10 points per 100 possessions. In the playoffs, it was close to 30 points per 100 possessions.
Yeah,
it was horrible. The concept of spacing Jokic with the bench has been a theory that the Denver Nuggets have played out, right? Like you had starters like MPJ, Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, who can easily floor lift some bench, units. And then you put Jokic with your deep bench units. The problem with that has been those deep bench units feature a lot of players who can't score with them. And so those lineups don't do as well as they could. And it kind of lowers Jokic's like historic numbers to like mortal numbers. So I think this year with Bruce Brown, Peyton Watson, the ascension of Christian Brown, which I think he could push for MIP talks, Aaron Gordon, and I think the advancement of like the swap of MPJ to Cam Johnson, Cam being the better ball handler, better passer, equivalent shooter, but a better movement shooter, really decent basketball player. So if Cam can stay healthy, do a little bit of the floor lifting in the second lineups, Jokic can utilize, probably rack up more assists, pitch aheads to Bruce Brown, etc. I feel like his numbers could be great, and I think they could be like a 67 win team. If they hit 67 and the OKC Thunder hit 69, Jokic will win MVP. It won't matter.
If the Denver Nuggets win 69 games, it's going to be real difficult to keep the lead.
67.
If he wins 60, if the Denver Nuggets win 67 games, considering the landscape of the Western Conference, Moss, you and I have had this conversation about what the Western Conference is going to be.
He can win 62, Chill. It's a massive improvement over last year. They can win 62. If he puts up 27, 12, and 11, right?
And they win 67 games. They didn't win 65 games. You don't think you're going to be that? Mike, you don't think you're going to be that good? You don't think Denver's going to be that good?
No.
They're going to get like 55, 57.
Pin knows. No, they're not going to. No way, because they're going to be hot and then they're going to go cold because they're going to stop.
That's not my prediction for them. I'm saying if they like the whole concept here is whoever wins more games is going to win MVP, and I just don't think that's.
I don't think that's what won it. I think last year it was an 18 game gap that determined that. If it's an 18 game gap, Shea's winning it.
What is the most games you realistically think this team could
10.
win? And
like if they could win 58 if they try.
That's the max.
I mean, they could win 60, but I don't think they're even like a. They've never been a 60 win team type of like.
So why wouldn't they be there?
Things are different now, though.
60, it's hard to get 60 wins.
60 is a lot of wins for that team. I'm not going to lie to you. Because I don't know if their defense
once Denver know their standing is comfortable.
Secure, yeah.
They're going to be chilling.
This is a team that pushed OKC to Game 7, and the difference here is that Game 7 was in OKC, not in Denver. So if I'm Denver,
the difference was Aaron Gordon and
the difference was that team was beat up.
That was the difference, not where they played.
And I think also the difference was that Michael Porter Jr. really was not there that series, and
he was also injured.
He was injured, of course.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, if that game is in Denver, I feel like they're a lot more comfortable. Their role players are a lot more comfortable. They're, the Julian Strathers and the Christian Browns of the world might have played better. So if I'm Denver, there's a vested interest in knowing that I got to go through this team that everyone thinks is unbeatable in the OKC Thunder, and we have proven in a 7-game series that we can beat this team consistently.
Well, Mars,
you
metaphorically, because obviously they didn't win.
Yeah.
Right. I get that part, but
But I also know that Denver blew a 20-point lead in a home Game 7.
They did. Remember, only 2 players scored more than 7 points in that game. So
so the role players played like trash, and they blew a 20-point lead at home.
But with that being said,
maybe they just want to be healthy. Yeah, maybe they just want a healthy playoff run, regardless of home court.
With that being said, though, Swiper, am I out of line if I think that this Denver team is significantly better than that team that blew that 20-point lead at home 2 years ago? I think this team is one.
No, I think this is the best Denver team they've had. I think this is the best.
And this is a Denver team that won 50 games last year, and they were beat up.
Fired the coach, fired the GM.
Right. So
the West is better though, Chill. The West also, a lot of teams got better.
You know why? And you know why the West is better? Because we're better. We're one of those teams that are a lot better.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Right? And we're better. So because we're better, 100%. I think this is the most stable. And Swiper, you're a Denver guy. I think this is the most stable this team has been since they won the championship. I think this is the most stable this organization has been. All the gaps that you had the previous year, I feel like they've all been filled.
Not all of them. Most of them. So, the POA defense is still going to be like questionable at times, but. Yeah, most.
But what I think,
well, you can't fix everything, though.
Yeah, right. I agree.
Go ahead, Demian.
I was about to say what I think a lot about with this MVP talk is when we look back on NBA history, we don't look favorably on not handing the MVP to the best player in the world. Like we always say that Michael Jordan should have more, that LeBron should have more. And I wonder in 5 to 10 years when we look back at some of these Jokic seasons where he didn't win MVP. And he's so statistically dominant. Will we be okay with it? And I don't know if we will be. And I think
it depends on if he has more championships.
Yeah, and I think the league has to be.
I think we have to be careful.
I think we have to be careful with some stuff like this because when Jokic is playing at one of the highest peaks we have ever seen in league history, I think we have to be really careful about not rewarding that. And I think,
but
and if we don't,
I think Shea.
No.
I think Shea last year, like, legitimately,
even with him having
Shea
3
deserved
MVPs,
to win. No, Shea deserved to win.
I think Shea deserved to win. But Mars,
Shea deserved to win. Absolutely.
We can also acknowledge that even though I did win the league MVP, I was better the next year after I won that league MVP. It's like, for example, the 21 and the 22 league MVP. Jokic was better than both of them dudes. This Jokic last season, he was better than both of those guys.
Yeah,
the 21 dude and the 22
dude.
Yeah, but then
right?
next year though, Joel was balling out of his mind. So
he was awesome though.
Jokic. So that's the thing. Yeah, Jokic played great, but Joel did his thing. I don't think 21 and 22 have anything to do with 23. Also, last year, like Damian just said, SGA was more than worthy of that MVP. So while I think we will look back and have conversations. I don't think we can look back and
I
say,
don't think Karl Malone should have won though over Jordan. I'm kind of
just on this one in particular. Sure. I don't think we'll be able to look back and say that. I think we can obviously, definitely, and rightfully so. Fans of Jokic and fans of Denver, this isn't no shot. I'm saying they rightfully should be upset if you're thinking from like a fan base standpoint. But sure. I think fans of SGA and just fans of basketball can accept that. Yeah, you might have got better, but so did other players. SGA absolutely deserved that MVP last year. Sure. And while I have said that maybe the Joel one was a little shaky, Joel was worthy of that MVP as well. You know what I mean?
And I think
Shea, but we'll let it slide.
Yeah, technically Derrick Rose was deserving of his MVP too, but I think
they robbed him more. It's not Mar, but whatever.
But historically, the way we look at it, though, to be fair, and if they do win a championship this year, for instance, and Jokic is 4 MVPs in a 6-year span. So 4 MVPs, 2 championships in a 6-year span. Then yeah, like when we look later on, then yeah, I mean, a lot of people are going to feel, especially 24, 25, like you average 29.6 and 13 and 10 and 2, and you shoot 50, 44, 80 or whatever, or 6, I don't know, 58, whatever it was, I don't know. Like, yeah, I mean, I think you will look at it differently. But I will say, I think SGA. So the GM poll just came out. The GMs of the NBA team, which is 30 GMs. They said 67% think Jokic is going to win MVP. So that would be
2/3.
So I know, but I'm trying to think how many that would be. 19 of them think that Jokic is going to win MVP, and then the rest is split.
20. 2/3.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Well,
Denver doesn't count.
That would be 70%.
19 of the
of the 30. Yeah, 19
all
of the 30.
Okay.
Of the 30.
But I mean, with that being said,
Denver's GM didn't vote for Jokic.
And Swipe, I know you might not feel this way, but I think it's fair to also admit that, you know, for most of these years, Jokic hasn't really been guarding his own shadow. You know what I'm saying? So I think there are people that take that into account. I know his hands were busy. I know. But you know what I mean? He hasn't been guarding his own shadow, and I think people take into account that as well.
And I think it was important for Shea to go and win
a
championship. It was important for Shea to go and win it.
Does it?
It matters.
Does it really? Because
he guards other centers. He just doesn't guard the other stuff that people
not only does he guard other centers.
We about to start coping for Jokic defense again?
No,
we're not.
We're just talking basketball, Mars. You don't have to do that.
Dang, Mars, this is a little early in the season for this, right?
Because you know what, they're going to start yapping about it. No, Jokic is not a positive defender in the way other bigs are. No,
he's absolutely capping for his defense.
Is he a positive defender in the way of being a positive defender?
Yeah, he has been multiple years. He said most of the time he hasn't been. He
is a positive defender.
I'm not capping for his defense. I'm not, but what I'm also not doing is I don't think that he's.
Yes,
I don't
he is a
think that
positive defender.
I don't think he's as bad as. I think that you look at him, Ox, compared to Olajuwon. I think that you look at him.
I would never do that.
Yes, you do, Ox, because
I would never put him in a Olajuwon conversation. So no, I would never do that.
You think because that's the standard for a big guy that's a league MVP that should be playing defense. That's how you look at him. And I don't.
Well, everyone should be playing defense. I think that's how it looks.
100%. And I think
that's unfair, Chill. That's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair for me to put Jokic, especially.
You think he's awful?
No, I just think this whole conversation is disingenuous.
On defense, hold on, Swipe, because we've heard all that, and I just want to bring it back down to earth real quick.
Sure.
I don't think he's a very good defender. I do not. I have seen Jokic compete before. I have seen Jokic get busy on defense a couple times, but overall, throughout this whole time, especially those early, he wasn't playing a lick of defense. Last season, okay, you got in there a little bit, big fella. I see you. The rim protection, god awful. Other than that, I'm like, okay, look at the big fella playing a little defense, getting in the passing lanes, hands busy, bumping. You know what I'm saying? I like the physicality. But before that, Chill, those first couple MVPs, I mean, Chill, that boy couldn't guard a refrigerator.
Ever was 20-22 though. I'm saying, like, can we just have honest conversation?
No, okay, maybe on these charts
versus
and
the Warriors.
Well,
first few games,
but when you're watching basketball, Swiper, you know that's not true, bro.
Well, it is like literally. No, let me.
I think last year was one of Jokic's worst defensive seasons, regular seasons. Playoffs, he stepped up, but regular.
And then 2022, 23. So in 2021, 22, that was probably his second best regular season defensive year. Because I remember the first half of the year. Remember that was the Warriors game, and then it was the game versus Toronto, and then it was the game versus whoever he had the block, the game when he blocked it, the Pelicans and all that stuff when he was going crazy. And then because the personnel was so bad, and that's why he part of won. Like he was floor rating like crazy. 22-23. Regular season started horrible. Then it got really good. Then it got horrible. December, and then playoffs, it picked all up again. 23-24, the whole year, the team was really good defensively, including Jokic. But they just gassed out in the playoffs. They couldn't rebound. 24-25, it was in the grass. Like, it was horrific for all the year. And then the playoffs, it stepped up. I think.
And that's the first time I ever heard you admit that, Swiper.
No, I mean, I've said that. I feel like I've been very fair about this. I don't think he was good in the regular season. I think he got very good in the Thunder series. He was good to okay in the Clipper series. The defense was a plus 15 points better in the Thunder series with Jokic. Like that was one of his best series ever. The problem that you're correct about, Ox, is for a lot of people that look at Giannis or Embiid or Victor Wembanyama, they're saying these are more traditional players at this position. Maybe not Wemby because of the shooting you hate, but you know what I'm saying, the defense. Right. These players guard at the rim, and they're all really good at it. Not Giannis right now, but historically. So why isn't Jokic held to the standard that these players are when they're asked to do these things? Point. But I think on the other end of this, though, Ox, I think the problem is that like we've gotten so, and maybe you can tell me if I'm wrong, Ox. I do think we've gotten to a point where we're so used to Jokic having these outlandish offensive years and like offensive series, even that we've kind of like have maybe underrated a little bit. Like I think it's a little crazy. Ox, that last year he was like 30 on 67, and he averaged 10 assists, and he also had like 13 rebounds, and I mean and then they were like a 127 offensive rating when he was on the floor. Like that's pretty like mind blowing, but I think we just got used to it a little bit, and I think the defensive stuff it's an issue. Like it's a real issue. They have to be able to help him defensively. He has to be able to work harder. I don't know what it's going to take for Jokic to convince you that he's able to do it. Because I thought in the playoff that you would come around a little bit in the Thunder series, but I know that like he still doesn't look optically like how Embiid would look. So I think that's fair. That's a fair criticism.
I want to clear that up, Swipe. It's not about me. You know what I'm saying? Who cares what I think about Jokic's defense?
I care what you think. I do. I care. What
okay.
Because you're on the platform and you play big. You play the big position yourself.
I'm not going to minimize what you say, Ox. No.
I'm not even trying to do that shit. What I'm trying to say is he's out there doing what it takes for him to win basketball games. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he's trying his best to play. So I don't want to downgrade him as a basketball player. I'm just what all I'm trying to do is just point out pretty much what Swiper just said. There are other guys out here, Joel Embiid,
Anthony Davis.
Come on, AD. These guys are really doing it on the defensive end. And so when I just kind of get a little, I don't want to say irritated, but I'll just be like, oh, what? We can't keep pretending like he's playing defense, and it's just he's
that level.
Hang on.
It's not
just to ask Ox a question real quick.
It's bad. Chill, it's bad.
No, you're muted. You're muted. We can't hear you anyway because you've been.
Fellas, I hate to have to do this, but I'm gonna steer the conversation back into the MVP talk.
I think the chat is crazy, bro. Like you just.
I got a good.
But more specifically, I'm sorry, Pin. But more specifically, I want to talk a little bit. We talked about SGA. We talked about Jokic. I want to talk about Ant's case for potentially winning MVP.
Doesn't have a case.
Okay. I want to talk about Ant's case for potentially. No, we're steering it to the Minnesota Timberwolves, and I'm segueing this by saying, if Ant takes the leap that he said he's going to take, and that me and Chill expect him to take, and once again, let's not act like this is just a bad team.
It's not.
They went to the Western Conference Finals back-to-back years. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for this team to win 60
If
to
they play versus
65
another
games.
injured Warriors team, then they in a Lakers team, then yes, they can do it.
Hold on, right quick. You guys relax. Let me just relax and let me set the table. We're talking about a Minnesota Timberwolves team that is young. They're still getting better. Anthony Edwards can potentially take a step forward. You have Jaden McDaniels who could take a step forward. You have Julius Randle who could play at an all-star level. You have a very good defensive team. You have young guys that can all get better. You're bringing back your coach. Once again, you went to the Western Conference Finals back-to-back years. I think this team is prime to finish top 3 in the West. And I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for them to even finish first.
But what do you mean by 60 to 65 games?
Exactly.
I don't think. Once again, I'm not saying, like how Penn said earlier, I'm not saying that they'll win that. I just don't think that it's out the realm of possibility for them to win 60 games and be first in the West. I really don't. With Anthony Edwards, with the defense that they stand on, we talk about Houston standing on defense. We talk about OKC standing on defense. We talk about all these other teams standing on defense. The Minnesota Timberwolves can stand on defense and rely on that to be their driving force. And then you get offense from Anthony Edwards on every night. You get every other game from Julius Randle. You get Jaden McDaniels taking a step forward. I think this might be one of the biggest sleeper teams to win the West next year.
Well, they were.
And with that being said, I think that gives Ant's MVP case of a lot of validity.
So last year, when we had this discussion about the Wolves, I said repeatedly they were a top 5 offense and defense from January to April. They were one of the 5 best teams in the NBA from January to April last year. They are a very good defensive team. They're very sound defensively. Rudy Gobert is still one of the 5 best defenders in the sport, maybe higher. Anthony Edwards shot 40% on 10 threes a game through March. Mike Conley is extremely important to what they're doing. Rob Dillingham can take a leap this year. I think Jalen Clark's a really good defender coming off the bench. Terrence Shannon coming off the bench. They're replacing players they've lost like Nall with those 2 players, and then you add in the fact have Dante DiVincenzo back, and then Julius Randle when they did play when he was healthy last year, they made him an elite starting 5. They have a lot, but the issue is winning MVP for Anthony Edwards. That means you're still going to have to be close to Shea, Jokic, Giannis. That's just gonna be like a mountain.
I just think that I just think that the landscape of this team, I think that they're going to try to get a higher seed. Last year, what were they? The 7 seed?
7, because of injuries when they started the year.
Right, because of the injuries, they get Julius Randle back in the lineup and they go on a run.
Who was the 7 seed? The Timberwolves? They were 6.
What 6? I'm sorry, Mars. I apologize. So I thought they were the 7 seed. I'm sorry. So they end up getting Julius Randle back the last month and a half of the season, and they had a favorable schedule, and it worked. And they ended up going. They ended up going on that run. But I think that this crew, this season in particular, I think that with losing to Nikhil Alexander Walker and replacing him with Bones Highland, I think that that's going to be
Jalen Clark. To be fair,
yeah. Well, Jalen Clark. I also think that with Bones Highland, I think that there's going to be more to be desired because I know what Bones is. Bones is one of those kind of players that he's going to come off the bench and it's going to look really good in the beginning, and then he's going to be a negative because there's going to be things where if he's not scoring the basketball, he does nothing else for them. He doesn't help them at all. With that being said, I still think that they could still be one of the better defensive teams in the game. With them being one of the better defensive teams in the game, I think they're going to win a lot of games off of that alone. Now, with that being said, we just talked about the Western Conference being a gauntlet. Ron, I can appreciate the idea of them improving, but to them in the Western Conference to have a 15 to 16 game improvement without making a major move, that means that Anthony Edwards has to get significantly better than what he did last year, which I
not
already
necessarily chill.
Okay,
they got to get better as a unit,
right? And that starts with my primary ball handler and scorer in Anthony Edwards, which I already saw him do. I did see him go from not even being in the top 10, not being in the top 20, not being in the top 25 in threes last year to leading the league in threes. That's a big deal to be able to do something like that. So now if I'm going to do that, what's the next step? Okay, the next step is, can I be an elite mid-range shooter? Because how much better is that offense if Anthony Edwards is an elite 2-dribble pull-up shooter? I think that they're way better because he does make the right reads.
Can he be in the conversation with SGA for best offensive guard in the league? Luka too.
Sure.
Yes,
I think Steph's still in that conversation.
Well, Steph, Luka,
today Mars going on 38 years old. You still think he's that good?
Yeah, I don't care about age the way you seem to. Yes,
But Ron, too.
but
I mean,
Ant can get in that group. Yeah, Ant can get in that group. Go ahead.
but Ron, in the world that you put out, where if Minnesota wins 60 games and they're the number 1 seed, and Ant averages 33 a game, sure, he'll be in the MVP conversation. He'll be right up there. For that to happen, I think it's unlikely. Like to Chill's point, they haven't made any major moves. I think they're a genuine playoff team. I just don't think Ant's going to put up historic numbers like the Jokic's or the SGAs will put up. That's all. But I think to Swapper's point, he can definitely take a leap, not necessarily win MVP, but still be in the conversation with Luka and Steph and SGA as one of the best guards in the league, if not the best, depending on his year.
I do want to throw this out
Anthony
too.
Edwards he's incredible, Ron. Like he's
unbelievable.
Favorite,
yeah,
he's my favorite 2 guard in the league, like by far. So I would love to see a world where he gets. But Ron, can you admit though that even for you think Giannis is like best in the world, right?
Yeah.
So Giannis is going to be on the top 6 seed probably next year. His numbers are going to be wild. Luka's going to go crazy next year. Just those 2 alone. I mean, bro, that's a big hurdle to get over.
No, for sure. And my push isn't necessarily an Anthony Edwards push in this conversation right now. It's more so a Minnesota Timberwolves push. Now, granted, I know that they made some trades, but 2 years ago, don't forget this team was a game away from finishing first in the Western Conference, and they won 56 games. Granted, they had Cat. Okay. They trade Cat for Julius Randle. Last year, they win 49. Remember, though, last year, it was a lot of shuffling, and they were trying to figure it out. It took them a second to all get on the same page. They figure it out. Come playoff time, we make a run to the Western Conference Finals. They look a whole lot better. So my thing is, now that they've played a year together, now that they've gelled, now that they know what to expect, I think we're going to see a lot better team. And I could really see the Minnesota Timberwolves steamrolling through the league. Now, obviously, you have teams that, it's going to be tough on a night-to-night basis when you play your
Oklahoma
OKCs.
City this season coming up. They Oklahoma City.
Well, I think they could be something eerily similar to that. I'm not saying that they'll be as good at.
I don't mean the style of play. I just mean like the result is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because it's like with how young they are. And with what their floor should
young,
be,
bro.
With
they're
how
a little bit
young
older
they are,
than you realize.
I think Conley's never looked worse.
Remember, Conley, Gobert, Rudy.
Well, they have Nas,
Rudy.
McDaniels, and Ant. That's their young
core. And then
you
Jalen
have
Clark and
Jalen
Terrence. But then Randall, Rudy Gobert, and then Conley are like
Terrence Shannon. I'm a little higher on Dante DiVincenzo, but I'm a little higher on what's his name on
Rob Dillingham.
Point guard Rob Dillingham. So I'm saying like they have a bunch of guys that I believe can play on a night-to-night basis, like OKC. A bunch of young guys that are not going to really be load managing and stuff like that. And so I just think that their floor is really high, and their floor is higher than a lot of team ceilings. So that's just how I feel about it.
I think they can be good. I'm gonna steer away from the MVP stuff. I just don't think that's gonna happen. But I think the Timberwolves' biggest strength is that they're one of the few teams in the West that are going into next season with continuity, pretty much leaving off where they left off. They didn't really make any big acquisitions. They just kind of drafted their rookies. They lost in the kill, but like they didn't really lose or gain anyone that's like really going to add to their rotation. I don't think Bones is going to play that much. I just think he's going to.
You say you don't think they lost?
I think they lost. I think losing the kill matters, but when I'm talking about continuity, I think having Julius Randle for a full season, fully ingratiated, is more impactful to their regular season success than the kill, than losing the kill is. I think having Dante DiVincenzo for a full season is a big deal. So I think their biggest strength, and this is only going to matter in the first couple months or till like December. If they start the season poorly, this strength doesn't mean as much to me. But if they start the season and they go 16-4 because they have that continuity while the rest of the West is having to implement Cam Johnson, or Houston having to implement Kevin Durant, or Golden State having to implement Al Horford and stay healthy and be old and all of that stuff, or the Clippers having to implement and load manage Kawhi and get through the regular season that way. That's where their biggest strength is going to. Are they going to have a bigger? I still don't think they're going to be better than OKC. I think OKC have the number 1 seed wrapped up, assuming half. But the 2nd seed, if they're able to get off to a flying start, that's their way to get the 2 seed, in my opinion. If they start slowly or they start fine, it's like they're 11-5, they're a good defense, the offense is cool, then it's like, then they're probably just going to be a 4, 5, 6 seeds. But if they get off to a flyer, then I can see them really pushing on. So the start of the season, I think.
Well, they
that's
have
what I'm
8
checking
starters
for
again. So
Minnesota.
that was their blueprint last year. They had basically 8 players that could start. So Terrence Shannon would be the addition to that essentially with Rob Dillingham, or not Rob.
Yeah,
so it would be Dante and
you'd have to
Nas.
assume him or Jalen Clark are like really valuable rotation pieces. So and Rudy's been declining like the last 2 years. Like he's getting worse, which I think is noticeable and very important. Randall, who I think has come off one of the better years and postseasons he's had. Jaden McDaniels, Nas Reed, that's 5. DiVincenzo's a starting caliber player. Then it's how do you feel about Mike Conley at this point of his career? I'm not.
Well, he's starting. He
Mike
has
Conley
to start
anymore.
Yeah.
He's gonna start, but do I think he's a starting caliber player? I don't know. I don't think Mike Conley had a really good year last year at all. Is Dillingham ready to come in and be a meaningful, impactful player? I don't know. Terrence Shannon, I'm optimistic about. Jalen Clark is someone who I like his defense and I like his shooting ability.
Yeah.
So they got like 7 guys who I really like. They got a couple question marks.
What's the white boy name? The backup big?
The one they just got, Zakarsky.
Yeah.
And he's Aussie, by the way.
Yeah, he
can
play.
He's huge. Yeah, he's huge.
I'm excited to see who they drafted too. I think his name's Jon Behringer.
They drafted Zakarsky and Behringer. Yeah.
He looked good. He showed some flashes in the summer league. He might not even crack the rotation.
He's playing well,
but he look. Is he? Well, see, he looked very good as just a guy that can really like do the big things.
He's
rebound, block shots.
He's got a lot of tools. He plays hard. He runs the floor fast as hell. He gets up for blocks. He'll try and contest everything. He'll crush the glass. He does all of the little things. It's about, does he understand the game, and does he have like the actual skill set to be impactful at the next level? But I don't know how much I don't know how much anyone in the West who's really contending can afford to run out 19-year-olds and like actually hope for them to be impactful right away. Like that's just a tough thing to
How old is Topic?
Especially in this. Well, he has
he's hurt.
He's
4 to 6
20, 21, but he's out right now. But he's 20, 21. But yeah, it's just tough.
Hey, Donovan Clayton, he'd be rotation player everywhere.
I've heard some stuff about Zakarsky that maybe moves me off of him a little bit. I was very high on him a year ago, but he didn't.
Where did he go to school, Penn?
Where did he go to school?
Yeah, I don't.
He played overseas. He played at NBL.
He played for the Bullets, right? If I'm not mistaken. Damien.
Brisbane? He didn't play a whole.
Did he play for Brisbane? Played for Brisbane, right?
Yeah, he did. He was in Brisbane. Yeah.
So he didn't really crack the rotation.
Well, I saw him in the preseason, and I had never seen him before.
He's very impressive.
Yeah.
Like for a person.
And said he's been impressive in camp as well.
I had him as a lottery pick a year ago, and then everything kind of went.
So
left.
Here's the thing: for a player at 7'2", 7'3", he's extremely coordinated.
Why are these kids so
very
tall,
high motor.
bro?
Here's what I like about him, and this is what appealed to me a year ago. He's very nasty. He's got a lot of attitude. And I love that in my bigs. That he got a lot of like dog in him, right? For an 18-year-old kid to be coming out there and even playing at all is good. The bulk of their rotation has played less than 5 years of NBA minutes. I think this entire season comes down to whether Rudy Gobert is washed or how quickly he's going to get washed. Like what is the regression rate of Rudy Gobert? 1, 2, is Mike Conley serviceable, or do we have to explore possibly putting Ant at the 1 and maybe moving Terrence Shannon to the 2? Like, I don't know if Terrence Shannon ready to play or Dante DiVincenzo. These are playmaking wings that can at least do some playmaking stuff for you. We just saw a team win without a traditional point guard. Maybe there's a consequence to going small that you can mitigate by going big. And if Ant can get better processing the court, something that I often find myself saying about Shea as well, I think they could maybe run some Ant at 1 lineups if Rob Dillingham isn't ready to play. This entire season is going to come down to me to Gobert and Julius Randle, like those two.
Julius was going crazy then last year.
Well, now he's been paid. And like Rudy Gobert, he is north of 30. And you know how I feel about players over 30. The regression is coming. It's just a matter of time. If it's LeBron, it's coming in 15 years. But if it's DeMar DeRozan, if it's a normal person, it could be coming sooner than you expect. So I don't know if Julius Randle can still be.
DeMar DeRozan had his best year of his life in 2021 when he was like 31. So
that is true.
To be fair, third team All NBA. Well, Mark, what was it? 7 straight 35-point games for DeMar? Like
He was in Chicago.
Yes, and
But
he was
was
getting
that
like
better
all
than
NBA looks.
Yeah, and he had the
17,
back-to-back game winners.
Yep.
and-
Yeah,
I shouldn't have said DeMar.
Matter of fact, Mars, let me tell you, I put DeMar DeRozan that year at 17 on my player list. People was pissed at me. I had Tatum ahead of KD
DeMar
that
was
year.
hooping in 22.
Bro,
Yeah, he
people
was
be
hooping.
hating on DeMar. DeMar was going. I was with Ox. Me and Ox would have been twinsy that year. DeMar DeRozan was going nuts.
Yeah, locked up last
You reckon
night.
that was better than
I
17
wanted
when
DeMar
he averaged
DeRozan
nearly
fan in
30?
2021.
Come on, man. Be on my side for once.
I'm always on your side, Spike, but I just gotta tell the truth.
Don't worry,
I
Spike.
didn't like. I didn't like.
You
I
still
didn't
got
like
Jordan.
DeMar DeRozan to the. I didn't like DeMar DeRozan until the day we traded for him.
Oh wow.
But
Damn.
all right, Pin. So what's your? I need to hear everybody's predictions and expectations for the Minnesota Timberwolves this year. What you got, Pin? 46 wins.
I think they take a little bit of step back because I think Nikhil
Dang.
Alexander-Walker was
46
very,
wins. They're barely
very.
making the playoffs with 46 wins, Penn. They're
we
barely
haven't
making
seen-
the playoffs with
we
46
haven't
wins.
They
seen
might not make the playoffs with 46 wins.
Yes, that might not be
but,
good enough.
hold on,
They might
like,
get bounced
if-
in the playing tournament. with
I
46
think-
Wait, Pin, them or the Warriors? Who are you higher on? Win total wise?
Them.
One game separated
Damn.
them last year.
Yeah. And by the way, this is how I think Denver and OKC can clip 60 wins. If these other teams are swiping, like there's such
No,
a
I
gap
hear you.
right now.
I'm
There's
just
such a gap right now.
But
So-
you know they're gonna when they play versus the Bulls, you know what's gonna happen, bro. Like Matis is gonna look like Larry Bird, and it's gonna
Matis-
be a fry session. We're gonna come up here the
Matis-
next day like, oh man, Matis had 45 versus the Nuggets. Like, are you sure they're contenders? I'm like,
over under on how soon Matas Buzelis is the best player on the Bulls? 2 years.
2 months.
Maybe.
Yo, but
When's
Pin,
that first game?
Hey,
Matis
hey,
is
Josh Giddey,
cold.
sorry.
Hey, Pin. Pin, I think the Wolves have a better track to 60 wins than the Nuggets. I'm not saying they're a better team. Keep in mind, we're talking about the regular season, and Swiper brings this up all the time. He actually is the one that's brought this to my attention. The Nuggets are they're going to play the field. They're going to play the game for the regular season to get to the postseason healthy. I don't think the Wolves are necessarily going to do that. I think it's just a full-on sprint for the Wolves because it's like my best player is 23, 24, 23? I don't know exactly how old Ann is. And once again, we have a lot of young players. Nas Reed, Jaden McDaniels, even young boy that we just mentioned. They got Terrence Shannon, Jalen Clark. They're just a young team that's ready to go.
As high as I
So
am
with that-
on
so-
a lot of
so-
their young rotation, they're not very good.
Who?
Like I think, like hold on, like I just said they like the bulk of their roster has played less than 5 years. Of those players, Alize Johnson, Jaden McDaniels, Anthony Edwards, Bones Highland, Johnny Zuzang, Leonard Miller, Jules Bernard, Zion Pullen, Tristan Newton.
You're
and Rick
mentioning a
Hickman.
lot of guys that aren't going to play though.
Bingo. That's what I'm saying. You're banking on health because you lose Nikhil Alexander-Walker. Terrence Shannon, you're expecting a lot from Terrence Shannon and Rob Dillingham to replace some of what you've lost between Nikhil and Mike Conley's regression. A lot of winning is being carried by Rudy Gobert's incredible defense. I promise you, as much as the
That's
talk
a
shit
fact.
about his offense,
That
he
is a fact.
contributes to winning in such a major way. And the minute he's not that on defense, you're going to really start to pay attention on the offensive end. And he is an awful basketball player on the offense.
Really quickly, Ron. So I want to run down something for you because Mars, you talked about jumping out the box. This is their first 15 games. Portland, yes or no?
Win.
Maybe.
Lakers,
Loss.
yes or
Someone
no?
opening that.
Win.
I think
Pacers.
2-0.
Win.
Win.
3-0.
Denver.
Loss.
Who's at home?
Just for the
at Denver.
Nope.
let's say Denver. Oh, 4-0. All right.
Are they playing Lakers? Are they playing
Wait.
Lakers at
I'm
Staples?
sorry, Moss. I'm sorry, Moss. At home, they got Denver at home.
I got them 4-0 right now. I got them 4-0.
Okay, they got the Lakers coming in 2 nights later at home.
They're not
I'll
going to
say
win most of
that
those
one.
games, so
Okay,
Yeah,
so
4-0.
where are we right now? So we're 4-1.
1-1.
At Charlotte.
5-1.
Whoa! Where's the defense at? Start the year off though. Let's be clear. Charlotte could go off. Brandon Miller playing?
5-1. 5-1. I got them 5-1.
Okay. So we're at Charlotte. Okay, 5-1. Then we're at Brooklyn.
6-1.
Then we're at the Knicks.
Porter? That's tough.
I'll say that. I'll say right now they're
6-2.
6-2. I'll say they're 6-2.
6-2. Okay, Mars. Okay, then we got Utah at home.
Who's all playing?
7-2. 7-2.
You
Man,
might as
you
well
don't wanna
give
think-
them
you don't wanna
3
think
wins,
at
3
all.
wins for what they're gonna do to Utah.
We got Sacramento at we're in Sacramento.
8-2.
W win.
No, they
8-2.
inset. What they inset? They're being
8-2.
8-2. 8-2.
Well, let's y'all bring the cowbells back out. 8-2.
Cowboys is crazy.
Okay. Then the next night we're in Utah. Then we're in Utah.
9-2.
In Utah? No. In Utah? No. Is that a back-to-back?
Yes. The next.
That's the worst back-to-back in the NBA. So I know.
I know because of the altitude. 9-2.
No, I'm not counting that. I'm not counting that.
Okay, so 9-2. So we got 4 days off, and we don't play Sacramento again until Friday. They come into our building.
10-2.
we got Denver. We got Denver the next night in our building.
I say 10-3. 11-2. You got to beat Denver both times, Morris.
Denver don't beat the
well, they've had freak things happen in the last year, so I mean,
11-2.
Yeah.
But Mars, we play really good.
But if they start 11-2,
did you take that into account?
They're not starting 11-2.
11-2.
They're not starting 11-2.
They're not starting 11-2.
Two nights later, we got Dallas in town.
All right, well, Ron, you might be on to something. They might win 67
12-2.
Hold on. Stay with me now.
Mars
Two nights later, we got Dallas in town.
12-2.
The next night, 2 nights later, we got Washington in town.
13-2.
That's 15
Best
games.
case scenario.
They're not going 13.
This is the thing. These prediction things, like, because they're gonna end up losing to Brooklyn. It's gonna be like, oh my god.
No, they are. It's gonna be one of those.
So it's like
I'm more like 12-3, 11-4.
They're not going to be 12-3.
Why not be Brooklyn, Utah? Could be us.
Didn't you hear what?
But that's my point. Like, it's
That's it.
easy to just say, oh well, they're favored in this game or whatever. Like, realistically, after 15 games, I'd probably expect them to be about 11-4. 9-6.
They're not.
They'll be 9-6.
Which is still good.
That's right.
11-4 is
That's
amazing.
fine. Like, I was just going through.
Didn't you hear what Anthony Edwards
So,
said?
like,
He said
realistically,
against
they'll
these
probably be
bad
like
teams.
9-6, 11.
We gotta
He
be.
He wants to win and get his
against
MVP
these bad
numbers.
Against these bad teams, I'm just
I'm
going to
getting
try to
busy
set
against
scoring records. I'm going to try to beat my previous scoring record. So that tells me they're not losing to Washington, because if Ant puts up 50, they're not losing.
He's trying to put. He's.
I watched
questionable
like
comments,
50
by the way.
against the Pistons. And
That's a fact. Hey, but
That's
fellas,
what I said.
And I'm not saying the Pistons or the Wizards,
That's what I
but
said.
what I'm saying
What are
is
you
that-
talking about, Ant?
I know,
I'm all
what's-
playing bad teams. I'm going to try to score a whole bunch. You're going
keep
to shoot
yourself
your team. You're going
motivated.
to
It's a
shoot
game
your
of
team
game.
out the game.
Also,
That's what you're going
trying
to
to
do.
score a whole bunch doesn't mean you're going to succeed at trying to do
It's a
it. Like,
ridiculous thing to say.
Exactly. You're going to shoot your team.
Wait,
out the
didn't
game.
they lose?
Exactly.
They lost to
Zach
Charlotte
LaVine
last year
gonna
when
bust
Cat
your
had
ass.
62, right?
fellas, I got to get to these super chats
yeah, that was
before
a-
That was 2 years.
before I get to these super chats. Penn, you gave your prediction. Chill, I think we heard a little bit from you. I want to hear the rest of you guys' predictions. Can you please give a quick prediction on what you think that the Minnesota Timberwolves will do this year? Damian, what you got?
50-ish, 50 around 50 wins somewhere between the 6th and the 8th seed.
Okay.
Damn.
Damn, you think the 6 seeds 50 games? All right, big
Sixth
eyes.
seed sixth seed last year was 49. So
Okay.
I know they're going to be better than the Rockets. So I could see Minnesota probably 3, 4, 5 seed around that range. Yeah, around that range. I don't know exactly how many wins. Like, I know y'all keep throwing out like the amount of wins each team is going to have. I'm not really willing to do that. I don't know if it's going to be high in the West or, kind of everybody being around 45 to 57.
yeah, it's a hard thing.
You know?
It's a hard thing. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So on top of that, I do think there are teams like the Swiper's point, teams like the Nuggets that understand it, like seeding isn't going to be too important because you can stay out of that playoff. Anywhere in the top 6 doesn't really matter because a lot of these teams are going to be around the same caliber of basketball team. So I'm gonna stay that. I'm gonna go with the 3 seed. I'm gonna go with the 3 seed for the Wolves. I'm gonna stick with that.
And just
All right,
quickly to your
Swiper.
point, Ox. Just quickly.
Go
to your
ahead,
point, Ox.
Damian. You got it.
OKC were the only outlier. So between Houston that finished 2nd and the 8th seed was only separated by 4 games. So it doesn't like exactly to your point exactly.
I think preseason I had them 5th. So 5th.
We gotta have some separation, man. We do. Because I'm looking at Oklahoma City. They won 68 games. Then 52, 50, 50, 50, 49, 48, 48. We gotta have some separation somewhere if this Western Conference is gonna be the gauntlet that we think it's gonna be.
It would be the opposite, wouldn't it be?
Last year was
If there are
historically
so
close.
many good teams, then
I think everyone being so close is why it's such a gauntlet. Like, This is why
There are
every
gonna be
time you
injuries,
guys
too.
start listing off the teams and the wins, it's like
Everybody can't win 55
everybody can't win 55 wins. It's like
Everybody can't win 55
you can't have
games.
all these 55 win teams. Like there's only so many
everybody
wins
can't
in the
win
NBA
50
that exist.
Yeah,
Like you
everybody
can't just
win
magically
55
give
games.
6 teams 55 wins. Like you can't just
Unless all the East teams win no more than
unless you're
Exactly.
literally saying the East, like the 4 seed is going to win 38 games or something.
And it's not going to
Like,
happen. No, the East
That
is
doesn't
already
happen.
When we
That
get
doesn't
in, when we start doing the Eastern Conference division, I think people are going to realize that the East isn't as bad as people are saying it is. Like it's
No,
not
it's
close to the
not.
West. The West is way better. The West is better, but the East has some legitimately good teams. So like we can't just have all of these Western Conference teams winning all of these games. Like, it's not gonna logistically work because they're gonna be beating each other, and then they still got to play some of the Eastern Conference good teams. So like I would expect to see teams in the 47 range. Yeah, that might be enough for the 8 seed, which is still a lot of wins, 48 wins. But like expecting, you need 52 wins to get in the playoffs. I don't think that's going to be the case.
I think you're going to see some
that's
decent
what
playoff teams from the East go to the West and go like 1-6 on a West Coast road trip. Like it can happen.
Like Cleveland did last year.
Cleveland about to get dog walk in the West, bro.
It definitely can happen. And what I'm
See,
saying,
Swipe, I'm not listening to that.
Because
We did the same thing.
Dallas.
We did
No,
the
we
same
didn't.
thing with Indiana. Yes, we did. We did the same thing with Indiana last year when the final started.
Indiana was getting dog walk too. They were getting smacked.
We didn't have them going by 5 games with that Oklahoma
Indiana
City
was
team.
getting smacked on.
No,
season by
chill.
West team
You
too.
didn't.
Neither
for
did
yourself.
You, Ron.
Joe, when you take the
Oh, you're
top
right, because
4
I had the Pacers in 5.
Oh no,
If you
I
take
forgot about
the-
that.
The Cavs went 23-7 against the West last year, and the Celtics went 22-8. So
No, they did. Yeah,
Okay.
they did. I'm talking about the
and
top
the
of the
Pacers
West.
went 21-10.
So why would the Cavs get dog walk this season, Ron? I mean, this season's
Why
better.
will they get dog walk?
When they're
Swiper?
better.
Because they gonna run into OKC. Donovan Mitchell averaged 9 points a game in that two games.
Yeah,
That's what happened
okay,
there.
see, give them
and then
problems.
and then
OKC
and then this year versus a non disease-ridden Denver team, they gonna get walked in Denver at least. and then they fired their GM and head coach. Yeah, that's a disease. And then versus the Wolves, versus the Wolves, they gonna run into that. Hey, chill. They're gonna run into the ant hammer in Minnesota. That's the first thing. And then what's Steph Curry gonna do? Steph Curry, Darius Garland on an island? Wait, hold on, chill, real quick. Chill. Hold on. Answer the question.
No, I'm not holding.
I'm asking you a question.
No, I'm not listening to you.
Let's just listen. Wait, so the Warriors with Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, Podzimski, Draymond Green, and Al Horford. Are they beating that team?
They can beat the Warriors. Yes, they can beat the Warriors.
Oh, you
The
mean
Cavs can beat the Warriors? What are we talking about?
Why can't the Cavs beat that Warrior team, Swiper?
Fellas,
Explain that to me.
I'm about to grab the wheel.
You want to see what a real
once again.
demon look like at guard? Let me show you Steph Curry.
Mars, what are your
They
expectations
said Steph
for
had
the
a down
Wolves?
year last year. He was better than Donovan Mitchell.
I expect them to be between the 3 and 7 seed. That's where I expect them to be.
All right.
Worst case scenario, 7 seed. Best case, 3 seed.
Got it. So I say I'm the highest on the Wolves. I think the Wolves are a lock to be a top 3 seed, but we'll just have to see. In the meantime, we are going to move on to crunch time chats. We still have 2 more teams to talk about. The defending champions, and then we got Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets. But before we do that, my man Brett Bovia, he is a Hall of Famer, so his super chat automatically gets moved to the top. I'm reading this first. Brett said every year there are usually 1 to 2 new playoff teams per conference. Who y'all got breaking in?
Spurs.
San Antonio, yeah.
It's definitely possible.
The Trailblazers.
The Mavs.
It's not possible.
The Mavs.
Joe. It's likely.
And Philly.
Oh, hello.
The Atlanta Hawks?
Because I know he's not raising his hand for the Kings, so I'm just asking him what he's talking about.
Hawks or Philly.
Yeah, well, I am.
What, the Wizards? You said the Wizards last year.
Let me say
The Kings. We're back.
Oh God.
We're back.
Oh God.
We're back,
Y'all
baby.
y'all
We
about
back,
to be
baby.
the worst team
I've
in
got,
basketball.
I've got the Mavs out west. I've got the Sixers out east.
Mm.
That'll be one from each conference.
We got Zach LaVine, Pin.
The second one in each conference. I don't think there'll be a second one in each conference, if I'm being honest. So I'll say the Grizzlies spot will be taken by the Mavs. And then I'll say, damn, Atlanta didn't make the
Think
playoffs
about
last
the
year,
map,
did
Mars.
No, they
Think
didn't.
North.
they?
Think
Atlanta
north.
and Philly will be my 2 Eastern teams.
Y'all really got action, Pin. I swear y'all got action.
Oh, the
Y'all got
Raptors
action.
too. The East might have like 3 new playoff teams. I'm gonna be honest. Okay, so the Cavs will
Hey,
make
Pin,
it
I'm with
East,
you.
the Knicks,
I'm Raptors FC
Bucks,
this year.
Pistons, Magic, Raptors, Philly.
I'm Denver.
The
FC.
only
I'll
player I don't
Yeah.
love on the Raptors is Emmanuel Quickly. Everybody else, I'm locked in. I'm here.
You know ball.
I'm here.
I'm Ingram FC. I've been Ingram FC. So
no,
yeah,
I've never heard you talk about Brandon Ingram, by the way. And shout out to
you're new here.
Dick is gonna have a great year this year.
You've never heard Mars talk about Brandon Ingram?
Scotty Barnes gonna have a great year this year. I think that RJ Barrett's gonna have a great year this year. Jakob Poeltl, Ron's favorite player, is gonna have a great year this year. I can't wait. It's gonna be a great.
Let the record show.
Mars.
Let the record show that I never mentioned the Raptors. I said just look north. Ron, I said look north.
Hey, Ron, we the North.
That's a fact.
I was talking about Minnesota.
Rough ride or die.
Plausible deniability.
Mars, give me your 4 teams again. 2 from the West, 2 from the East that could break in.
Some boat.
Well, I think I only had 1 from the West is Dallas. I don't think a second team's gonna break in. I'm not gonna just
San Antonio, bro.
You don't think San Antonio?
No, because I think OKC's gonna make it. I think Houston's gonna make it. I think the Clippers are gonna make it. I think the Warriors are gonna make it. All 4 of those teams were in the playoffs last year. I think the Lakers are gonna make it. That's another team that was in the playoffs last year. I think Denver's gonna make it. That's another team that was in the playoffs last year. I don't know if I said the Timberwolves yet. I think they're gonna make it. That's another team that was in the playoffs last year.
And
so
the
then I
Clippers.
add Dallas and swap them with Memphis. That's it. I can't just start throwing in the Spurs. I don't have the Spurs making the playoffs over any of those teams. So no. That's my 8.
All right.
In the West,
And then
East,
Mars,
in the
it's
East,
Houston.
best
It's
team in
Houston that's
Texas.
not going to make it.
The
Yeah,
best
I know
team
you.
in
And in the East, I got
Texas
Philly. I
is
think Philly will make it,
Antonio.
assuming health.
100%. I'll stand on this. The best team in Texas is San
Without Fred
Antonio.
VanVleet, sure, maybe.
Okay.
Yep.
In the East, I got Philly, all assuming health. If they're not healthy, forget I said this. Well, the other team I said was Atlanta. I think Atlanta's a shoo-in for the playoffs. I'm guaranteeing Atlanta will be in the playoffs. And then the other one is Toronto. I think Toronto is a very intriguing
Are the
team
Bucks making the
that
playoffs?
I think could make the playoffs. I think the Bucks will make the playoffs. The team I'm worried about is Boston. I don't know what Boston's going to do. Because Boston's front court is
That Jalen Brown lead guard
Boston.
situation.
Boston is a team I expect to be out.
How you feel about that, Swiper?
That
And I don't know about Indiana. I don't know how I feel about Indiana. I'm gonna have to keep my eye on them. I don't know how I feel about if they're gonna make the playoffs or not. But
All right, y'all.
So yeah, that's it.
MTHJ 301 sent through a super chat and said, start. And this is for the Utah Jazz. Keontae George, Ace Bailey, Lauri Markkanen, Kyle Filipowski, and Walker Kessler. Bench, Collier, Walter, Bryce, Hendricks, Nurkic, at least until trades.
If you was a real one, you could have said all their first names,
Oh,
but
God.
you copped out.
I'm starting Isaiah Collier over Keontae George.
No, you're not. Would you
I'm
stop?
trading
Yes,
them
I
both.
am.
He's not
I'm trading
better.
them both. I'm trading them both.
It's not about who's better. I'm starting Isaiah Collier.
You need a
over
floor
Keontae
general
Definitely
to
is a better
set
trade.
Ace up. You need a floor general to set up Lauri Markkanen. You cannot have this team go out year after year, try to run this amazing system that Will Hardy's implementing without a proper point guard. I like Isaiah Collier's court processing at times. Teams don't guard him. Not a shooter, right? I like Keontae George's scoring aggression. He's not a point guard. You need a point guard there. Get one.
In Utah.
Get one.
All right, y'all.
Go ahead.
Should have signed Dennis Schroeder.
Tonight
I mean, Russell
is a good night to be a Hall of Famer because if you are a Hall of Famer, not only will you get to join us on playback to watch the Throwback Thursday game, but you also had say-so in the game we are going to watch. All the Hall of Famers know the game that we will be watching tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and you can pull up the playback to tune into it. I promise you it is going to be a historic night, to say the least. 2016 was such a good year, wasn't it? No, this was 17. 2017 was such a historic year. I can't wait to see my GOAT get busy. But
I'm gonna bring a barf bag. I'm gonna let y'all know that right now. Let me just let y'all know I'm gonna bring a barf bag, and y'all.
Me
can
and
see
Ox
me
the only
be
ones who voted
absolutely
with
tortured
integrity
for
on
2
that.
What game?
straight
What
hours.
game is this?
don't worry about it, Swiper.
No,
Yeah, you just got to pull up
we
to see.
can't say. The only thing you know is that Ron is going to be very happy, and I'm going to be.
We should
very,
test Ron's
very
basketball
pissed off.
knowledge and play WNBA highlights for the 1998. See if he can name the players that are on the team. Cause me and I
Hey.
definitely can.
It ain't about 1998. It's about 2025, and I'm going to be in the building when Asia Wilson gets bounced in Game 4.
Now,
Are you going to be there, Ron?
Yeah, I'm going to be there.
No. Chill. Look who grew some nuts in the past hour and a half. He was over there in the corner, quiet as a church mouse. Now all of a sudden you want to talk, huh? Would you look at that?
All right. The next super chat. Well, I do want to shout out our Hall of Famers simply because they picked the Throwback Thursday game, and also because they're our Hall of Famers. Shout out Brett Bovia once again. Shout out R. Wade. Football Breakdown. My man Skeet Nielsen. Small Boxes. Kingster. Rob Deer. Vale. Shout out Vale. Vale Grills.
Shout out Vale.
Bulletproof. Cheese. Joe Breezy, Worldwide Mace Television, and shout out to Multi Kenny. You guys are the GOATs. You guys are the Hall of Famers.
Did you tell him we met Vel?
Yeah, we was in Brooklyn kicking it with Vel.
Yeah, went to got some food with him. You know, I had to make sure my bro made it safe to the train, man. Shout out to my dog, man. Shout out to the young.
Yeah, Swiper escorted him home. Hey, shout out Vel for
young and out here.
We all need security sometimes.
Escort.
You ain't jumping Vel with Swiper next to him.
That's a fact.
Definitely.
You ain't jumping Vel for real either.
Not in Brooklyn. Not in Brooklyn. Maybe
Vel look like a better athlete than Ron. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Like, shoot, shout out Vel, bro.
Yeah.
Vel, what's the deal, cousin?
Hey, Vel, big dude though. Vel, like what'd you say? Swiper 6'5"?
He's 6'5"? 6'4".
He's taller than me. I'm 6'3", 6'4".
You ain't that
so
tall.
he's 6'4",
I'm not gonna lie to you.
6'5".
I'm so tired of Ron lying about his height, bro. Goodness gracious. Men lie, women lie, but Ron be
Swiper,
lying,
you're
bro.
5'11".
I'm not. That's the thing.
You're 5'11".
That's the thing. When I know exactly how tall I am and I don't boost it, Ron, every time he talk to you, I'm 6'3" and a half, 6'4". I stand right next to Ron like this, bro. You ain't that tall.
That's 3 inches.
That ain't no 3 inches.
I
bro.
know you don't know what
Ron,
3 inches
you
is,
know what
but
3
that's
inches
3
look
inches.
like. You know what 3 inches look like. You know there ain't no 3 inches.
Oh God!
All right, y'all. Next super chat is from Riztown Hoops. Riztown Hoops said, "Speaking of this past draft, I think someone might emerge as a nice piece. Is Ben Serif? He's a pretty good driver and playmaker. He could be nice."
Which one
Dude
did he
actually
go?
found
he
found that picture on Facebook from a dude named Jimmy Smith who I ran in the backcourt with in junior college. That shit wild as hell, y'all dudes out here, yo.
Shout out Jimmy Smith.
You an international celebrity, Cho. You got
what is
surprised?
this deal?
So investigate,
wild as hell.
I'm not that high on Ben Serif personally, but
Damn.
I'm Nolan Traore FC there.
that was another guy I had. Yeah, I had him as a top 5 pick a year ago.
Everyone did.
So,
Yo, with all due respect to Cynthia
so
Cooper,
we'll
y'all know
see.
she's my favorite. She's been my GOAT ever since I knew about the WNBA. I love Cynthia Cooper, but
That's not why Bob's saying that though, Ox. He's saying that because he's saying
I know why he's saying that, but all I'm saying is that you know Cynthia just didn't get enough time in the W. The league started too late, so players like Yolanda Griffin, you know, players like Yolanda, players like Cynthia, they got the short end of the stick. They didn't get to the league till they was in their early 30s. You know what I'm saying? That's not my fault, and it's certainly not Asia Wilson's fault.
Cynthia was 34 as a rookie. Damn.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's not her fault. But it's not Asia Wilson's fault either. If the W would have started in '88, you know what I'm saying? Then Cheryl Miller, Cynthia Cooper.
Cheryl Miller would have been.
You know what I'm saying? That'd be fine. But it didn't. So
she's the world champion of women's basketball. So if everybody needs to know,
that's just how the cookie crumbles, yo.
And speaking of everything that Ox had to say about WNBA players, this is what Jonathan Frazier had to say to Big Ox. Ox, I be with you, and then you say some nonsense bullshit like that. A shoulder from Braun would have Asia Wilson in the hospital or in a hospital bed, wishing she never picked up a ball.
Well, you know, you might look, that's cool, and you might think that, but if you've never been on the court with these professional women basketball players, you might not know how strong they are. I'm not saying that Asia Wilson is as strong as LeBron James. I'm not saying that Asia Wilson could take a shoulder from LeBron James and stay in there and bang with him. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you might think that these are some little dainty broads and you might just get out of my way. But I guarantee you that's not the case. And that's all I got to say about that. I like once again, I'll reiterate. I've been there. You know what I'm saying? I've been there. I've seen some things. That's all I got to say about that.
Maya Moore is a tank.
I like that when people say for her sport, because women's basketball is for women and men's basketball is for men. I don't really like this conversation about comparing women and men in a one-on-one setting because I think it's crazy personally. And, you know, you could talk about Michael Jordan and LeBron James. She ain't beating Josh Hart one-on-one right now, okay? I'm going to let you know. Keep it a bean, 100%. And I don't think anybody who has actually watched that basketball can actually debate that. She ain't beating Michael Porter Jr. one-on-one. She ain't beating Scotty Barnes one-on-one.
Keep it a bean. A lot of y'all
there's like 200 players in the league that will whoop her ass right now.
There's a lot of y'all dudes that get all big and loud and talk about these women basketball players can't check up with them, and that's all I got to say about that.
Oh, they would dominate your YMCA.
Yeah,
they dominate your basketball court. Yeah, they're amazing.
He's talking about you.
No. What I'm saying, Swiper. What I'm saying is, Swiper, and I believe you know this. A lot of men that are athletes, because I always hear that dumb shit like, your average high school team could beat the W. No, they can't. What y'all don't understand is a lot of dudes that try to make it, that go to these D2, D1 schools and they can't play. They're on the practice team for these girls, and they be out there trying their hearts out, getting cooked. And you know what, Pin? I'm talking about from experience. I've seen these things. I've been in the gym with WNBA players. I've been in the gym with high level D1 women's basketball players, and they hold their own. Obviously, I don't care about what you're about to average this, average that. I'm not talking about average. I'm talking about
average high school basketball.
I'm talking about phenomenal women athletes that I've seen with my own two eyes, been on the court with, and I've touched with my own flesh, my own bones. I know for a fact that they're much better, much bigger, much stronger, much faster, and much more athletic than these dudes that are in the comment section that have never been on the court with them before and have no idea what the hell they're talking. These dudes are sending comments, sending super chats, and they have no idea what they're talking about. I don't care how y'all feel about it, but you don't know shit about what you're talking about. You see, y'all don't even realize how big these NBA players are when you see them on the court. Y'all think these dudes are close to your size, and they're not. Y'all see these women. Y'all see these women on. Y'all see these women on the screen, and y'all think that they're little. When you go up, when you see, y'all don't know how big Jackie Young is. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't know that this is all muscle. When she hits you, you go that way.
She got arms.
Yeah.
You go that way. So y'all can keep talking that crazy shit, but you have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
So some average high school basketball team cannot beat a professional WNBA team. I will agree with that 100%. Montverde, if Montverde played a WNBA team, once again, their ass.
All right, y'all. We not about to debate something that's never gonna happen. We do debate a lot of hypotheticals, but we're not about to do this.
Well, the best example we have of this, by the way, is the best example we had of this is in the Olympics. Chill, when they do the men's women, they do the men's women 4x4. They do the intersex 4x4, which Netherlands is really good, but the USA we win obviously because it's us. But yeah, like that's the best example we have of this. And so they when the women, they will go out.
All I know is Alyssa Thomas is the same size as Scoot Henderson.
Yeah, and
all right, y'all. On that note, I want to shout out all of our members today.
Alyssa's little for a position in the W.
Kanji. Shout out to Kanji and shout out to Kanji's profile pic. We all know that good guy right there. I know Mars misses him so dearly.
And Jacquez Jones is bigger than Draymond Green. So what are y'all saying?
H-Town T 44 became a YouTube member. Shout out to H-Town T. D Futures also became a YouTube member. Shout out to D Futures. Fallback Hoops became a YouTube member today. Shout out to Fallback Hoops. Poncho Williams and A. Blair also became YouTube members. We got a lot of members joining up today. Salute to everybody that's joined the family. If you're not a member yet, what are you waiting for? First, you got to subscribe. Then you become a member. Then you become a Hall of Famer. Then you join the PCL. And then you do what Mars did, which a lot of people can't do, but try to do. Then you become a panelist. Maybe. But salute to everybody that is a member, especially our Hall of Famers. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder. Won the championship last year.
This could be very short and sweet. I'm not going to lie to you.
Set a lot of records last year. Historic defense last year. Had the MVP last year. How are we feeling about it?
They could win 70 games this year.
They could break the Warriors record this year if they wanted to.
Yep.
So they're not going to because they're not going to pursue it.
Okay,
so
Chet missed half the season.
That's a
Isaiah
lot of
Hartenstein missed half the season. They have continuity. Two of their best players last year, Isaiah Hartenstein and Alex Caruso, were new to the team. This year, they will have 1 year of continuity with them. J-Dub getting better, Shea getting better, Chet getting better, Kaysen getting better. Their entire team is getting better. Last year was the first year that they could have realistically won it. Chill. Teams usually lose 2-3 times when their window opens.
They were the first seed the year before, so they could have won that year too.
The Nuggets, the Nuggets and the Bucks and all these teams, they lost a few times when they realistically could have won. They took the scars. They eventually broke through. OKC was supposed to lose last year. Now, I said they were going to win all year. I thought Shea was just that good, but he showed his warts. They really fell apart in the playoffs. I'm gonna be honest. The games that they lost, their offense couldn't buy a bucket, and they were terrible. However, their pressure style defense and their depth and their personnel and the youth and the talent level and the fact that I trust Shea to get better, even after winning a championship, the fact that I know that he's not satisfied, the fact that I would put dollars to donuts right now that he probably outworked every star this offseason other than maybe Ant. I don't know. Swiper, like I talk to people who are close to him. I understand his mentality going into this offseason.
He has real sources, unlike you, Swiper.
I got plenty of sources. Swiper told me about you too.
Swiper has sources. I have sources too, and I'm telling you that this dude is going to come out
Reginald.
for blood. I like the idea that this team didn't get satisfied with one win. I don't think that they look at that championship like, oh yeah, we got it. No, they're like, let's start this. They're starting the party, and you know what? They could come out there and try to 74 wins. Totally realistic. When this team is going right, if Shea is getting better, J-Dub's getting better, if Chet's getting better, they're unstoppable. They're an unstoppable basketball team.
Yeah.
So when teams win championships, one of two things happens. The first is you either stick with what you have, or some teams, what they try and do is account for a little bit of competitive inflation. And what I mean by that is that naturally when you win, teams, and Chill, you always make this point, which I think is great. Front offices don't build to be the best team. They build to beat the best team, right? Yeah. So now you have all the contenders in the West getting better. Denver gets better. Ron thinks Minnesota's going to get better. The Lakers potentially get better with having a starting center. Houston add KD, which was their biggest hole. So OKC, and it's a bet we'd all make, but OKC says we're going to stick with what we have. We're going to secure our future. We're going to give these guys extensions. But that's assuming that SGA is going to stay at an historic pace, that J-Dub's going to continue to play at an all-NBA level, and that Chet reaches his ceiling. And for us, Chet, probably for all of us on the panel, Chet's ceiling's probably 26-12. But in OKC, because they're so guard-heavy, Chet might only get to 17-10 with 3 blocks. So he might not reach his ceiling in OKC yet. So a combination of all these things, they're not a shoo-in, because they've just gone to 2 game 7s, don't forget. And Penn, to your point, maybe they lose that game 7 and we have a different conversation, right? So I think the gap is there. It might not be as big as people think it might be because of that little bit of competitive inflation potentially.
I think that they jumped the line, to be honest with you, with Oklahoma City. I think this year would have been their year. But the fact that they ended up, benefiting, being as good as a team as they were. I'm not going to discount how good of a team that they were. I think that they were a fantastic team. I thought that defensively they were an all-time great team. And I think that they capitalized and maximized everything that was necessary in order for them to win. No doubt about that. Getting Chet back when they got him back. All of those injuries that they had them early, so they were able to overcome that, early. Enough to, when the playoffs started, they got into the playoffs and they were able to roll it the way that they were rolling. But I also feel like this season coming in, I think that the teams that got better, I think that they got better, not just substantially. I think they got better enough to even deal with Oklahoma City. Prime example would be the Denver Nuggets. I think that Denver Nuggets team had Aaron Gordon and had MPJ been healthier, I think we were looking at a completely different series. So now we got these other teams in the Western Conference, like the Lakers, like the Clippers, like Denver, like Dallas, who've gotten better. So I think the competition level for Oklahoma City has been, I think it's going even higher. So I wouldn't be surprised if this team had a great regular season, like 60-plus wins, but got bounced in the semifinals. That would not surprise me at all.
Fellas, right quick, speaking of having great regular seasons, I'm glad you mentioned that, Chill, because we are going to have the best regular season of all time, similar to that Warriors team that Mars mentioned, and similar to potentially what this OKC team could do, and we're going to do it right here on Splash Sports, and you guys are going to do it with us. Yes, each and every one of you guys are going to download Splash Sports by either clicking on the link in the bio or scanning this QR code on the screen, and we are going to collectively run it up. We're going to make our picks, quick picks, using the Splashsports app, and we are going to use our basketball knowledge that we talk about for 3 hours on the daily on this show to make, what is the word that you use, Penn?
I don't know. I use a lot of words. I'm a yapper. Intellectual curiosity.
Curiously intellectually picks. That's what we're going to use. And we're going to use that against other fans, not against the house. Fellas, Swiper has something very good for us that he's running tonight for the Thursday night NFL games. And I think you guys will like these picks. Swiper, talk to us about these intellectually curious picks that you made.
Yeah, so A.J. Brown is having a very underwhelming season. The share of the targets have not been in his favor. And on top of that, it's just the way they've been playing football. They've been very oriented around the ground game, even though the ground game haven't been great. I think 64.5 is a lot for A.J. Brown. But Devonta Smith, on the other hand, he's been a good number 2 this year. 50.5 is a pretty low number. Michael Pittman had 54.5 that he even was able to clear last week. I think that Devonta has a better game than that. He's going to have over 51 yards. I think Jalen Hurts, again, past rush yards, he's going to throw the ball, he's going to run the ball, and I think, again, 240.5, it's a pretty low. I think that's going to be something that he hits more over. And then Cam Scatterbo. Now, Tyrone Tracy is supposed to be back, but Cam has been the leading rusher for this team, and you can run the ball versus this Rams team. He has to make sure he holds on to it, but I do think 49.5 for Cam, that's a good number to be at. So 49.5, 240.5, 50.5, and 64.5. I feel pretty good about this.
All right, download the Splashsports app. You guys already know. Use code PLAYER, and we will match up to $50, and you will get a 100% boost for first-time entries. You see it on the banner. Fellas, I'm about to get up out of here, but before I do want to shout out everybody that's watching on Facebook and that has liked and loved the video, and also shout out to the Facebook GOAT, Jorge Rafael Ramos. All right, fellas, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. See you guys tonight, Throwback Thursday.
Bye, Ron. Bye.
Hey, Ron.
See you later.
Bye, Ron.
Yeah. Okay.
Later.
Chill. I got an amazing thing for you, because I like to tell Chill stats. I don't know why. He's the most intellectually curious person up here, in my opinion. So I'm just saying this.
Just read this shit.
Just
My
glaze
bad.
for no reason.
The glaze for no reason. Okay. Chill. Do you know that only 8 teams lost to the OKC Thunder last year? That means 22 teams went winless against this team.
That's interesting.
Only 5 teams got multiple victories against them. Dallas got 3, Denver got 2, Golden State got 2, Houston got 2, Minnesota got 2. There's only one Eastern Conference team that even registered a single win against this team, and that is Cleveland. One win.
And that was early in the year.
If you take Dallas out of it, assuming Dallas, I'm assuming had Luka for at least one or two of those.
Those games were weird. There was a lot of guys were missing on both sides in those games.
Exactly. There is a really good chance if this team wants to, I really do agree that they could run the table and just win something crazy like 74 games or 75 games. The gap between them, especially if they develop and everybody else, is still monumentally large.
I would love to see Oklahoma City steamroll the league and like go 75-7, some shit like that. I would love to see them go like 78-4. That would be so dope.
But I think, this conversation's about the regular season. But in the playoffs, I think it's a different story. I think teams are matching up with them a little bit better now. I think in the regular season, I think we all agree that they're going to run up. There's going to be a significant gap between them and whoever comes second. But I think in the playoffs, it's definitely a little bit more intriguing this year, especially with the likes of Denver and Houston and some of these teams filling some holes they have. It's probably a different conversation for another day.
I think depth is very underrated, like in terms of defensive effort. There's a lot of teams that are trying to pick up very high. We saw a quote from Memphis's coach where he talked about the pace that Memphis played at last year. And he said the fastest teams in the league last year, OKC and Indiana were top 7 in pace. Okay, Memphis was number 1 in pace. So in terms of pace, it really comes down to your pickup point on defense, your defensive aggression, how ball hockey you're going to be, how many turnovers you force, and obviously the 0.5, the 0.5 offense. So if we're talking straight up pace, Memphis' coach said that's going to be laughable in 5 years. Those teams that are leading the league right now are going to be slow in 5 years. I believe he's probably onto something here. As you play more and more physical basketball, pick up higher, you're going to get more injuries, I believe. Number one, to piggyback on, a point we made two episodes ago. But also, I think you're going to get dog tired. You're going to have less efficient offense. So you need depth. OKC has depth. Minnesota does not have as much depth as I would like them to have. So I think more so than any period of NBA history right now, if teams really buy into playing like this, it's really going to start to matter who your 10th and 11th guys are and your 12th.
It's interesting you bring that up too, Penn, because Ox always makes the point of not getting sucked into playing the way everybody else plays, because there's a formula for everybody. And in fact, that formula that works for you could be to my detriment. Because just because you play like that, not only does it not mean I can't play like that, I can get wrecked trying to play like that. One, I don't have the personnel. Two, I don't have the sustainability of that. I could get into a shootout with you and shoot it out with you 1 or 2 times. I'm not going to be able to do that the entire season, even if I do have 9, 10 guys. I'm not going to be able to do that. To Ox's point, when you're talking about getting into a shootout with the Golden State Warriors in the 2016, 2017, 2018, yes, you might be able to get into a shootout with them, and then you might empty the entire clip against them. And then 2 nights later, when I see Toronto, I don't have anything, right? A couple of weeks later, a couple of days later, when I end up seeing Denver, I don't have anything. So I think that playing like that, even though we do live in a copycat league, there's certain teams, even if they do win it, we can't do that. We can maybe take something from that, but we can't necessarily mimic that entirely, because that's not who we are.
Yeah, I really hate the Thomas Sorber tore his ACL. I actually thought he was going to be one of the more NBA ready rookies, and I had high hopes for him. So him tearing his ACL puts a little bit of strain on them in terms of like third string rotation big men. So, they can't really sustain an injury again. But the positional versatility of Jalen Williams being able to step in as a center again, I think that shit still holds true. This team could just beat you 1,000 different ways. It's just interesting.
Which I was going to ask you, Penn. Which go ahead. I'm sorry, Alex.
Well, no, I just wanted to make sure we haven't got to Denver yet, have we?
No, we have not.
I mean, we talked about it a little bit, but yeah.
I mean, these two can mold into each other.
So let's get. I'm pretty sure most of us got OKC winning the West as far as regular season, right? Does anybody not have OKC number 1 in the West? I think that'd be easy.
I do.
San Antonio, bro. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. So let's get our Denver takes.
Swiper, that point of emphasis. I'm not point of emphasis. I'm sorry. That point of attack defender. I mean, is that really that big of a deal in Denver, considering how much better you're going to be on the glass? I mean, this is what I'm thinking.
Force misses to get rebounds.
Yes, you do. Okay, and a point of attack defender, I'm thinking about what a Min Thompson does in terms of a full court guy. When I think about when we get in the half court, when the game slows down, right? When you got the action that Oklahoma City runs, when you got the action that Dallas runs, okay, I think we can get stops. I think we can force teams into bad shots. When I think about to your point, Twiper, when I think about the point of attack defender, I'm thinking about that dude that's across half court, that's picking up full court. I'm thinking about that guy. I think about when we get in the half court. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about guys like that. We don't have that, but is that necessary? As opposed, is it more necessary?
Well,
than
they're picking up 3-4 court now. They're changing their defensive scheme. They're modifying it. So they have been sending Peyton, Bruce, Christian, and Jamal, to be fair, who's done this for a while, to defend 3-4 court. So they found probably some analytics and numbers into like what it means to play full court. You saw the Pacers do that to SGA last year. SGA had his second worst shooting series of the playoffs, I think in part because you can tire him out just by doing that. So Christian will do it. Peyton's
that guy.
Yeah, Peyton's
got
a
some
wing.
Deficiencies. Yeah,
he's a wing defender. But I will say, Mars, one thing that they did do that I think will make a difference for them defensively. I don't know if you watched the Toronto Raptors game. I know Penn did. Penn, you saw they put Cam Johnson on BI the whole first half, and they basically just said like, we're gonna allow for you to be like that wing defender versus D caliber players. And so what that happened is Aaron Gordon was able to play the backline defender to be the rim protector, and then Christian Brown's able to play off ball. That's where I think their defense improves, is that now they don't have to force the issue of making Christian or making Aaron do it. Because if you can put Cam to stay in front, then you can actually have more help behind the defense than you would traditionally. But in the playoffs, what's funny enough, their defense actually outperformed their offense in the playoffs last year. That's probably one of the misnomers about how the Nuggets played. So I actually think they needed more help from the shooting standpoint than anything else. They needed more options to finish possessions offensively. I think their defense, when they get to the playoffs, is going to be good enough to beat anybody. But the problem is, it's like, okay, when you start playing that 5-end defense versus Joker, or you start playing the 5-end defense versus Jamal and Joker, what are you able to do outside of that to kind of mitigate some of the issues? Because remember, the Clippers twice were down 20 points, and then they put that stupid zone out, and then
dumbass zone.
But it
worked.
worked. The Nuggets had no answer for it because they just didn't have Porter can't dribble around that zone.
Like y'all ain't never played against a zone before. That dumbass zone.
To the casual fan out there who thinks that Michael Porter Jr. is a better player than Cameron Johnson, how do you convince them? I've been trying for years because honestly, there probably ain't a bigger Cameron Johnson fan up here than me.
Michael Porter Jr. is better than Cam Johnson. Just fits better for this team.
Yeah, but you're a casual basketball fan with no intellectual curiosity.
Exactly.
So,
exactly. I mean, anybody that watches basketball will understand that Michael Porter Jr.
Do you even agree that Cam is better?
But
me?
Cam's better for this team.
Yeah, I think that he's a better overall basketball player, in part because of the injury. So, like, Michael just doesn't have the ability to, to move, dribble, and all that stuff. He just can't do that.
So here's how I've tried to explain it. Movement shooting is very valuable, and Cam is a better movement shooter. Number one. Number two, positional playmaking. I think plus size positional playmakers are very important. As evidenced by the fact that almost every
we just letting that one slide like he's
well, they're just to be clear, their off ball shooting numbers are similar, but Michael Porter Jr. is a better off ball shooter than Cam. What the thing that I think you need to know with Cam, I noted it on the on Twitter, is that like one of the things that will stand out that people will see from Cam more. Cam got the ball, was able to dribble all the way up the court, ran a pick and roll with Jokic. He then he got into the lane on a drive. He faked it to Christian, passed it out to Peyton, and then relocated out to the three and was able to hit the three. Michael has never been able to do that.
He's underrated. He's underrated.
That's not his game. Cam is just a much more stable, like, offensive ball handler than he is. That I think that will hate. The defensive rebounding will be the thing that Cam will struggle with, that Porter didn't struggle with, and I think will be worse. But in terms of the defensive versatility, I do think that Cam will offer a lot to the team. But I think Aaron Gordon can have a better rebounding season now because Michael's not there. So there are some. Yeah. There's some, good things and there's some negative things.
We'll see what Cam can do on that defensive end, y'all. Let's get everybody's takes on where they have Denver because we got to get through these super chats. We don't got much time. So Damian, where do you have Denver finishing this year?
Second in the West.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Second in the West.
Penn?
Yeah, I have them second in the West. I think the Cameron Johnson argument of Cam versus Michael Porter that we just went through, you have to factor in who Cam has played with the last 3 years. He's had better seasons analytically, eye test wise. Mm-hmm. His skill set has evolved so much. I don't think most people watched him. I think most people remembering Cam Johnson, Brooklyn Nets, pre Brooklyn Nets. So they're thinking Phoenix because they saw him in the finals. He is a very different player today. And I cannot tell you enough. This is the greatest gift that the Denver Nuggets could have ever given Nikola Jokic, because I've been thinking about for a long time how he pairs with this guy. He's going to be great for him. Having additional ball handlers, I think they're going to be a very good team. I think the Nuggets could push 60 wins. I really do.
Okay. Mars?
Worst case scenario, they still have home court. So absolute worst case scenario, I think they're a 4 seed. Best case scenario, I think they're a 2 seed. I don't think they're going to play for much more than that. In fact, I probably think they'll start playing for matchups. If they see a team that they want to see in the first round or the second round is in the 3 seed, I think they'll play for the 2 seed. If they see that team is in the 3 spot, they'll, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, they're going to play for matchups, I think. That's how comfortable I think they'll be in the regular season. And then in terms of playoffs, I think they have a chance of winning a championship. I'd give them my second best odds as of now.
Okay.
OKC 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Muzzle, you saying that teams duck smoke? Is that what you're saying?
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. I'm not saying it definitively, but I'm absolutely saying I think it would be in teams' best interest to selectively choose matchups.
Well, I'll say it definitively for you. Teams duck smoke all the time. Yes, they do. 100% that they do. When I watched that Minnesota team beat Denver, Dallas was like, whoa, we ain't got to deal with them dudes. Absolutely, we can beat them. We ain't got to worry about them. Yes, sir. So teams duck smoke all the time. Yes, they do. So to answer your question, Ox, yes, I think that this Denver Nuggets team even though Swiper is a little concerned about the point of attack defender, I think that the majority of the things that needed to be addressed, they got addressed. I think that health is really the issue with this Denver team. And I think if they can stay healthy, I think they're a 60+ win team. I think they're good enough that they can win the NBA championship. I think they're that good.
Doubt.
So I'll say if Murray is what he is right now, which I don't know if you've seen Jamal, he looks phenomenal.
He looks in good shape.
He looks great.
Yeah,
He looks great.
He's been hooping in preseason so far. They've never had a fast start from Jamal in any year. Not
Ever.
one.
That's his thing.
Never.
That's
Never.
his thing. Yeah.
Like not one. I'm telling you, he has one game. Ask Matt Moore to look this up. I think he has one game with 35 or more in October, which is again, it's like a week and a half. But still, he's just never been able to. I think that if Jamal is healthy he's healthy now. But if Jamal is like legitimately walking into the season, when he goes, Mark, remember he goes on that first, 20 games where he's like D'Angelo Russell. Then the rest of the season, he's 23-7 on 50, 40, 90. If he starts the year 23-7 on 50, 40, 90, then yeah, they're going to win 60 games. But the issue just can't be everybody making up the difference for Jamal not being the second best player. And I think if he starts the year off hot, then that changes everything.
I think there's a really, and this is not a likely chance, but there's a chance that Christian Brown, Aaron Gordon, Cameron Johnson are just as good as Jamal Murray. There's a chance that any one of those players or all of those players could be just as good as Jamal Murray. Yes.
Well, then they're winning.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
I think they need
if Jamal Murray is somehow their fifth best player, they're winning the championship.
I'm not saying they're the fifth best player. I'm saying that any one of those
great.
players is good enough to usurp him as the second best player. Not the second most important player. Christian Brown's defense is legitimately insane. His three-point shooting looks very good. He has obviously
a good defender.
Yeah, he is a good defender. But
he ain't J-Dub. Let's chill out. He ain't J-Dub good.
I wouldn't.
No, he ain't that.
Now,
good.
if he takes more threes this year, I'm with you, Penn. He got a little Ox. I don't know what you got in your house, but he got a little
look, man,
44 on him. You know what I mean?
That's
not crazy.
Look, Jamal is nasty, and Jamal has legitimately carried y'all through a couple of series. We've seen.
I agree.
Christian Brown has not, and he won't. But let's get to these super chats though, yo. We got a good amount of them.
Yeah, Christian Brown gets that good. Hey, man, shout out to me. Oh, by the way, Ox. What's the white boy's name from the Pacers? The dunker that they just drafted. Penn.
The one from down there.
Johnny Fuck.
Hey,
He from down there. He from
Christian Brown. He better get his game up. Cause that best white boy dunker in the league tag about to go. Do you see him?
That's been gone.
Bro, Johnny, but he be going crazy. Like what is that?
He's Australian, man.
He's
Australian?
That's why I say he's from down
there. Bro, this man preseason. I'm talking about.
Wait, Damien, how do you say it?
Johnny.
I said y'all.
Johnny Furby.
I don't know why Swiper sounds like Christian Brown had the.
You're gonna see him.
He does have it. He does have it.
Matas Muzelis been.
No, Matas ain't got no.
Thank you.
He don't have a Rudy Gobert. Wait.
Time to talk about
Mars. He don't have a Rudy Gobert dunk. He ain't got that.
That's cool. Matas a better dunker than Christian Brown.
Yeah, he definitely.
I ain't talking about Mac McClung. Mac don't even play.
But Jalen sent a member chat, and we got to get to it. Take that damn hat off, Ronald. Tigers in 5. Okay. 5.
There's a team called the Tigers. Nice.
Yeah, Detroit. I want to ask. I'm not gonna derail because I just told Swabby not to derail. Let me just stay focused. TGTV. I woke up and chill talking about ass at 9 a.m.
Y'all didn't say
what did I miss in the first 15 minutes?
I don't remember that.
Ain't bad. Ass ain't bad.
It was on
where y'all
TikTok,
get that from.
On TikTok.
Hey, love is love. Shout out, man.
I don't know where y'all get that from. Ass is not bad.
H-Town T been a member for 29 months. MF say what they want about Ace. Boy got game for real.
Shout out. Hey, the only people that don't like Ace are people that don't like player empowerment. I'm not talking about Penn. That's basketball. The reason people don't like Ace is all the Philly fans that I know that are not like this. They're like, oh, how dare you think you're bigger than the program, and how you say you don't want to go play for Philly and all this other stuff. Like, bro, he's a kid. Let him be. He's figuring life out. You know how hard it is to walk in the millions?
There's a right way and a wrong way, though, Swiper. There's a right way and a wrong way.
But I'm saying, but he a kid. Like, give him a chance to grow up.
No, I understand that,
didn't like how
and
they
I'm
went
not, and
after.
I'm not saying you shouldn't try to get where you want to go. I'm all for that, but there's a right way and a wrong way, and I'm not even saying Ace did it the right way or the wrong way. I'm just saying that sometimes cats go a little overboard. And it's just like, bro, you're not bigger than the program. No matter how much we do care about player program, player empowerment, it's all good. But I don't care who you are, you're not bigger than the program. But the thing about it though, Swipe, you don't have to be bigger than the program. That's not what this is all about. You should look out for yourself though, and Ace, keep looking out for you, 100%.
I know people won't believe me if I say this, but I am actually rooting for Ace. I think he took a lot of unwarranted crap during the draft cycle, and I really felt
from you, by the way.
No, not from me. My criticisms were very fair. My criticisms were very fair. But all that shit about Omar Cooper, that clip that went viral of Omar listening to Jay-Z, and grinding his head. It's just like, bro, like, what are we doing here? People talking about him like he's not the father of a basketball player. He don't know shit, And
he got fired. He's not even in the picture no more. So
yes, I understand that, but people made a judgment about a person because he was grooving out to rap music in a car. Like, if I want to take the worst moment of anyone's life and just
not all there was though, Penn. There was a lot in the past. It wasn't just that clip. You can't pretend like, oh, that clip made people think about him this way. We all know all the stuff that came out. No, not anyway. Not anyway. We can't pretend like we just don't know bro's past history and all that stuff. The clip was just to add on to that, but we're not going to pretend like we haven't seen LeBron James vibing out the rap music. Nobody cares about that. It's the fact that people think he's a thug because of his prior record, and I think that's a lot has to do with why he's not in the picture.
Prior record,
his prior allegations or whatever you want to call it.
You talking about Ace?
I don't know nothing about that, but what I will tell you is Ace comes from very, very good people. I did a lot of digging into Ace Bailey during the pre-draft cycle. I'm gonna tell you this: come from very good people. When I say that, like, very good family, works insanely hard. When I talked to someone at Rutgers, they said, like, dude, first one in the gym, last one out, works insanely hard, cares about the game a lot. I feel like he's had some bad influences in his life. I don't think that Rutgers program is good for him. I'm really pulling for him in Utah. They need a star. I hope he becomes one.
He looks like one already to me.
AJ dropping Igor bombs next year in Brooklyn. I can't wait.
We talking about Edgecombe? Or somebody else?
No, it's about Diego. How'd you say his name? Geoman? I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
That's the kid from BYU, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Number 8 pick.
Do we like him, Penn? Is he a good player? I don't know anything about him either.
I have concerns, but he's an insanely quick processor of the court. He shot it a lot better in summer league. I think he's also another one who's worked very hard. And you try to bet on big playmakers at a legit 6'8", 6'9". He has a lot of Josh Giddey-isms, but I think he could become a better shooter than Josh Giddey. There's definitely potential there. I don't see a superstar, but I see a very, very good connective passer. And who knows? Maybe he settles into a Joe Ingles type of role. You know what I mean? Like, at some point, like maybe he becomes a small player.
That's fire.
The most
another Australian.
Australian.
I told you.
No. Talking about Joe Ingles.
Oh, my fault.
Hill TV sent a super chat, said, given the Cavs teams Bron had, some strong, some not, could any superstar still make 10 straight finals like him, or is LeBron that special?
No, considering LeBron didn't
that
even
special.
do that. Yeah, considering LeBron didn't even do that. I'm going to say no. The only person I know who's made 10 straight is Bill Russell. But
LeBron made 10. Yeah, sorry.
10.
LeBron made 8
10 in 14.
He actually made 9 in time. It was 9.
9 in 10 years.
8 in a row.
Yes,
yeah.
8 in a row.
Yeah,
I know someone who actually made.
I'm not gonna lie. If Giannis would have been around in 2011 or 2018,
yeah, also I just think the way the league is set up, like, it's just tough.
I just think it's a better question to ask. Could anyone go 6-0 in a decade?
No.
With the best team? With the best team?
I know somebody that I know somebody that went 8-0. I know somebody that went 8-0 in the decade.
Frank Curcio, MVP this year. I got Jokic. I think Nuggets and OKC top 2 this year, and Jokic being 2, I think gets it done with his stats.
I mean, it's going to be hard to top 27-12 and 27-13 and 10.5. I mean, I'm not going to lay it. It's going to be hard.
As much as I thought SGA, there was nobody winning. Those numbers were so goofy. Like I look at the numbers.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
And no more heat penalty this year either, Mars. So he can shoot 30 of them instead of 22.
Joe, for
statistical dominance
for a non-defender, would you believe me if I told you that Nikola Jokic averaged more stocks over the last 4 years than Kawhi Leonard?
He's a lockdown defender, so we believe it.
No, I wouldn't. That wouldn't bug me out. No, it wouldn't.
Come Runco. Ox clip farming.
He always clip farming. That ain't nothing new.
I don't. You know what? This is the thing, though, Swiper. Just because if I'm no. I just want to answer the question. You know, it says ox clip farming. If being wrong to y'all does not mean I'm clip farming. If I got to take and you think it's egregious, then it's just an egregious to take. It doesn't mean clip farming. I'm just wrong. That's
you don't clip farm on Twitter?
On Twitter? No, I just talk shit on Twitter. That's what Twitter's for.
I'll see a very sensible post, and then I'll look underneath it. Here's Ox, big Ox, and I'm just like, come on.
Here we go. About to be some bullshit.
Rage baiting these teens. These are kids. You out here rage baiting them. 16-year-olds on Twitter.
It's a lot of people. Look, you shouldn't be on Twitter at 16. You need to be doing homework. Twitter
your ass to class.
Twitter
Go
is
to
meant
class.
for Twitter is meant for grown ass men that's business is handled. You know what I'm saying? Whose bills is paid. Y'all kids need to get the hell off.
I'll be on Twitter. None of that.
I'm tired of Mars on Twitter. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Go to class, Mars.
Hey, Mars, you need to go.
What are you talking about?
You need to go to Blue Sky. That's where Mars need to go. Go to Blue Sky. That's what he needs. True social.
Swiper, what I'm saying, Swiper, is y'all need to be out there trying to be somebody. Do something with your life, okay? You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to be a Twitter individual. That's what
y'all don't got time to be on Twitter. You little ass kids.
And at this point, I know how to bait Mars perfectly. I just know how I got to word it just the right way, just for Mars. I know he's lurking. He's in the shadows, lurking just like this on my tweets.
I was about to ask
coming up on my timeline. Yeah, like I be searching Swiper out. He just be showing up.
Swiper on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being Chinese math and 1 being 2 + 2. How easy is it to get Mars on the hook?
Oh, 12. All you have to do is get the language just off. And the thing, it worked with that tweet about Jokic's passing. I know, but I knew. I was
almost out of bed.
I know. I agree. I knew Mars was going to have a fit.
For me?
Yes, 100%. Yes.
Mars on the
hook. But Mars. And then he sends the other one where you got Russell Westbrook and Christian Brown standing on each other's.
But that was just a scheme thing.
Talking about how teams got
but it was.
But then after wait, but look. But then after he's gonna try to make it seem like, oh yeah, that's what I was saying. I was trying to say it was.
But to be fair,
make it seem like it takes 5 people to guard.
No. To be fair, I said that during the year that the Nuggets didn't have enough shooting. They didn't have enough shooting around him. That's why you could play that dumb, gimmicky defense that the Lakers and Celtics were playing. They got it from the Wolves in game 2. I brought this up multiple times, and the Clippers did it. Gimmicks.
All right, let's go.
Be quiet. You be knee deep in nonsense. I don't want to hear it. Knee deep in nonsense on Twitter.
I told you. I don't take Twitter serious at all.
I don't have to text. You know this is your real Twitter, right? This ain't your burner.
I don't got no burners. I just be talking shit. Y'all be taking shit way too serious. It's like y'all need to learn how to enjoy your life, man.
I can hear it when you tweet. I hear your high pitched voice. That voice right there. I can hear it when you're tweeting, and that's how I know you're trolling.
Y'all need to learn how to enjoy your life, bro. I'm trying to tell you, man.
All right, Mars, leave me alone for now on.
Medved, stop bullying him, Mars. What do y'all call it? Stop ratioing him. Medved said OKC is not repeating their historic 68-14 run from last year. Denver will be much closer to OKC this year.
If Chet Holmgren is healthy this year, bro, they win at 70, 71, 72. Or if they just take their foot off the gas 67, they're going to win at least 64 games, y'all. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it just depends on what they want to do, in my opinion, and their health. I think they're capable of breaking the Warriors' record. That doesn't mean I think they're going to go for it. I would probably say 64-ish is where I'd have them.
Mars, it's like what Chill said about us a couple seasons ago. That's not happening because now the rest of the league takes them serious. They're not sneaking up on nobody.
We on to y'all.
Okay, I got them about 64 wins. That's where I'd have them.
Swiper, do you know what Medved means in Serbian?
No.
It means bear. It means bear in several Slavic languages, including Russian.
Help the bear. Star ranking. Have y'all seen the GM survey?
Yep.
Yeah.
More Jokic glaze from the NBA. Who would have
I
thought?
have not seen
They
this
called
yet.
Luka a small forward.
They did. Well, they had to give him one of those
Yeah.
positions. To be fair, like you can't
Yeah,
not have
so,
him not start him.
Yeah.
Luka not starting on All NBA top 5 would be disgusting.
Especially since he's now. Quelly Smith seen a tweet that said, "Who's the best skilled big man between Jokic, Duncan, and Hakeem?"
Why is Duncan on this list?
Who y'all?
We
All
don't
right,
have
Swipe. I think
There's
it's
no
time
all
for you to
right.
go, bro.
He shouldn't be on this list.
And he said, let's add Embiid too. Let's get some representation.
Duncan is ridiculously.
Hey, matter of fact, let's add Brad Miller. We just put people on the list. Let's add Brad Miller.
I'm just not
Great
even interested
DHO player.
anymore, bro. I'm not even interested anymore. Y'all want to end the show right now?
Who is the best? Matter of fact, Mars.
Let's take a vote. Who wants to end
best
the show
center
right
that
now?
wore
Raise your
that
hand.
wore an elbow pad? Is it Brad Miller?
No, it's just me. Okay, forget it. I'll stick it out then.
The most,
Y'all
I think, the
wanna
most
set this
skilled
down.
is between. If we're adding Embiid, I know Duncan's the least skilled. That's all I know.
Yeah, agreed.
It's Hakeem.
It's Jokic.
The answer is Hakeem.
It's Embiid.
It's okay.
I mean, you got to be skilled all around the court. You can't just be skilled on this half.
Okay, I wish a king could pass the damn ball. How about that? Turning the ball over. We can talk about that too.
Pass
Goodness
the
gracious.
ball to wide open players. It's easy.
Is shooting three a skill?
Jonathan
Yes, it is.
That's why Embiid is the answer.
Hakeem and Bam Adebayo are the same size, by the way.
So that's not.
No,
You
they're
guys
not.
are just giving me more reason to say why Embiid is very clearly the answer. If the defense is the issue and why it can't be Jokic, then Embiid's the answer. If you're gonna,
I like to see Hakeem
the
play in
offense is
Eurobasket
Scotland,
this
I'm
last
gonna
year. You know,
Embiid's an
Shingun wouldn't
all-time
do it to
talent.
Is
Hakeem.
ball handling a skill?
Embiid is an all-time talent.
yes,
Ball
ball handling is
ball
skill,
handling is
and
a
Embiid
skill.
is a better ball
Swiper,
handler.
you
than
got to
Jokic.
be shitting.
Who's bigger? Is Shingun bigger than Hakeem?
No.
No.
I
It
think he
don't
might be.
matter. It don't
I think
matter.
he
Are we
might be.
factoring in wingspan
Are we
too?
talking
Yes.
girth?
No, we're just talking height.
Wingspan
He's
included, then no, Hakeem's bigger, but
But size.
height alone, he might.
How
be.
many of y'all
Might be
think
the same
Sengun
size.
could hold his own against Hakeem Olajuwon? Raise your hand.
In Eurobasket?
In
What
basketball.
do you mean by holding?
Eurobasket.
Not look
You're
like
a
a
basket
average
for
child?
sure.
I don't think
Yes.
he can hold his own against Jonas Valanciunas. So no, I don't think he can beat.
No, I
Olajuwon.
think Hakeem.
Who?
I think Hakeem would destroy.
Schengen.
Arvidas Sabonis?
What's holding your own though? What's
No,
holding
he
your own though?
cannot hold his.
I
What
think
have Arvidas
I
done?
think Şengün would look mightily inferior if you matched them up against each other.
Or
But
what about
I think the answer
Arvidas
to
in his
that question
prime?
is Embiid.
Arvidas in his prime.
Arvidas is 7
Arvidas
foot.
against who?
The
Jokic?
best center of all time.
Yeah, prime Arvidas against Jokic.
Like for a minute there.
That'd be a tough matchup. I saw what Arvidas did to Shaq,
So-
and nobody brings it up. So, you know, we can
Yeah,
just
he'll
keep
do the
moving.
same thing to Jokic.
I'm talking about old Shaq. Old Arvidas, by the way, making Shaq look like he's like, come on, refs. Ref, call a foul. Call a foul, ref.
When did that happen? Are you crazy?
Western Conference Finals. Yes, it 100% happened. Western Conference Finals.
In the
Western
1999,
Conference
2000,
Finals.
are
Yes,
you
Arvidas
nuts?
Sabonis.
Are you out of your mind? He
No,
was
he's not.
destroyed. Are you out of your
No, he
mind?
wasn't. No, he wasn't, Joe.
Yes, he did. He kicked his ass.
No, he did not. That's what I'm saying. We always just lie for no reason. Go look at the series. Go look at his numbers. Go look at his numbers.
In game 7, he was getting triple
Arvidas
team.
versus Shaq.
Oh, no, he did triple team.
In game 7, he was getting triple team.
I thought it was Shaq.
Oh, Arvidas and Shaq? Is that what's going on?
There's a reason Arvidas and Brian Grant
Shaquille O'Neal
and J.O. all wearing
Arvidas couldn't
Fine.
run.
Hold on.
He
Shaquille
was
O'Neal
in foul
in his
trouble for a
prime.
reason.
Yo, my God, I hate when y'all do this.
How did
with
Arvidas
Arvidas.
get here?
Okay.
I was trying to ask a good question to Oxen. He trolled. Go ahead, Pin.
1994. Arvidas Sabonis.
What?
1995. He shows up to Portland. They say, this dude is so washed body wise,
We
he could
know.
qualify for a medical handicap spot.
Mm.
5 years
That's his
later,
old ass problem.
He locks up Shaq.
later,
He
6
locks up
years
Shaq.
later, 6 years
He can
after
lock
that
up
moment, just to
anybody.
put that in perspective, 6 years after that moment of being so washed to be physically retired, he probably played the best defense on
Yep.
Shaquille O'Neal in his prime
Mm-hmm.
of any center in the NBA, period. There's nobody.
Shaq was looking real fallible in that series. Nobody brings it up.
Absolutely.
No, he was just
I'm gonna have
getting
to go back and watch that
fouled.
one further.
I wish, matter of fact, I wish we had Twitter back then. So
fouling
Mar,
Shaq is actually an effective strategy. So, you know.
Yeah, but no, he was fouling him because he couldn't hang. He was.
all I
old.
know
That's
is,
why he
hey,
got a
Pin, when he was at
problem.
his best and he looked at
old.
David Robinson eye to eye, and Chill tried to say, but Arvidas Sabonis was so much older than him. They was the same age.
They were.
All right, let me get to the super chats because we're just you guys
Thank you.
y'all bullshitting right now. Jonathan Frazier said Julius Randle's scoring output in the Western Conference Finals. Game 1, 28. Game 2, 5. Game 3, 24. Game 4, 5. Game 5, 24. If it was even numbered games, 2, 4, 6, he wasn't there.
No, he had his best scoring
that game
series.
524 was also capped. Like that game was over. So
But he had his best scoring series versus OKC. Funny enough, though, it's just that's how it
did
happened.
he? What did he average against the Warriors? Because the Warriors,
I can't remember, but you remember the when you go to Data Baller or NBA Ramp or whatever, it shows you like the plus on whatever. Julius has the best scoring series, sir.
Imagine Alex Caruso trying to guard Julius Randle.
imagine Arvydas Sabonis at 38 years old trying to guard Jokic now. Now what? Hush up. Off ball movement. Pin, can you imagine me? Iverson cut for a center?
That was a 6'3". Oh man, wrist down hoops. Laugh my ass off. For everyone who wants to see men versus women, go watch FC Dallas under 15 versus the women's USA.
Yeah,
team.
we've seen these soccer games. Yeah, it gets nasty.
You know that old phrase, it takes one to know one? Real see real, all that stuff. If you don't have good court mapping, you will never appreciate court mapping. That's all I'll say. If you were a player that consistently missed open passes, if you were a player who consistently played low basketball.
What are you saying, Pin? What are you saying?
I don't know, but if he's talking about Ox, all I know is
I haven't seen Ox play basketball. I'm saying that consistently when I see players who do not appreciate high basketball IQ, when I watch them hoop at a park, they're the ones who hold on to the ball.
Unknown warrior. Damn,
I've seen Ox hoop. People like Thomas Robinson.
Go swipe. I'm not gonna play with you right now, bro. Unknown warrior. Like I can ignore Pin when you get to saying bullshit like that, but I'm not gonna play with you.
You look like Thomas Robinson. Just take it.
All right. I don't care who you're talking about. If like, let's just keep going. Unknown warrior. Damn, yesterday my $1.99 chat wasn't enough. Here's $4.99. My boys debating who's more talented, not more. Wait. We talked about this yesterday, didn't we?
I answered it quickly, but Ron didn't read it. Yeah.
Oh, he didn't. Oh, yes, right. Because I was like Dirk. Who y'all got? I got Dirk.
I think Embiid's more talented than Dirk. Yeah.
I
also think Embiid at his best is better.
Fresh out of Germany. Fresh out of Germany.
Just overall, who was more
Dirk
talented?
was a ball handler at one point. And later, as they got in their careers, Embiid's more talented. But
Dirk revolutionized the 4 spot.
Yeah, Dirk was like
because of his skill set and because of his talent.
For sure, his skill set was revolutionary. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I agree. But yeah, I think Embiid's more talented. Just the things you can do both sides of the ball at that size, that fluidity. I know Dirk is extremely fluid for his size as well, which is what makes them both outliers. But Embiid's biggest weakness, I would say, is his passing, and I would say he does that better than Dirk. So like, it's just, I don't know. It's just, yeah, I think Embiid's talent level is through the roof and rivals damn near anyone in the history of this game. So
I'm up here saying that Joel Embiid. I still think he's good enough to take a team to the NBA championship. That's how good I think he is at 80%.
Who you got, Damien?
Embiid. I think Embiid's more talented player for player. Whether he can go on a Dirk run remains to be seen, but we also playing in a different time. So
yeah, I wouldn't
bet Dirk, on that. I got your back.
I would say Dirk.
I mean, hey, I love Dirk. I don't want anyone to take it as me slandering.
Yeah, me too. I love Dirk.
I think Embiid
if you're talking complexity of dribbles and bag work and stuff, Embiid got it. But if you're just talking like effective basketball, space, creating space, footwork, post work, all that stuff, Dirk is very fundamental. And I hate the fact that people who are very fundamental often get called unskilled because they don't waste dribbles.
Merry Christmas.
Later, fellas.
I don't think anyone would dare say Dirk is unskilled, though, for what it's worth. I don't think anyone would dare say that. So, yeah.
Oops. Okay. Hunter. Pretty insane that potentially the 2 best teams in the league might be in the same division. That being said, Denver and 4.
The 2 best teams in the league played in the second round last year too. So this is just a repeat of last year.
Sweet.
No, they played in the first round. Clippers versus Nuggets.
That was a good series too. Everybody be hating on. Matter of fact, everybody be hating on the Clippers and stuff. They only when they're healthy, they've only ever lost series in 7 to Denver in Denver. That's it. Everybody makes fun of them all the time though.
Yeah, they just haven't been off very often. Yeah.
Unknown warrior. Pin, how on earth is Pete Kawhi a better offensive player than Embiid?
Well, one of those players made it to the finals twice, won finals MVP. Right? Thank you. So yeah.
I made it 3 times.
I don't think I've ever necessarily even gotten that take off. I think Kawhi overall is a better player because I think Kawhi just maps the court a little bit better, like just a little bit better.
Than Embiid?
Yeah.
Of course, way better. What do you mean?
I'm giving him.
I would not say way better, especially whenever you pick Pete Kawhi. I don't know when Penn decides it is.
Kawhi's like, so thinking basketball is doing this like greatest peaks of the 21st century, and they talked about Kawhi's defense. So that made me want to go back and really study Kawhi's like 2016, 2017 defense and just see like how good was he as a team defender. And there's a lot of weaknesses there. But as a man defender, like on his man, he's a hawk, right? So I don't know. Offensively, he's just insanely unstoppable. He has like just this endless bag of counters in the post. He's a great 3-point shooter. He's very smart, very efficient, and he's one of those like minimal moves players, which I really like. Right. So I don't know, man. I just if I'm going into a playoff game, if I'm going into the playoff series, I trust Kawhi's toughness. I trust his like demeanor. I trust his leadership, and I just trust his offense a lot more.
Man, Kawhi being better on offense than Joel, but worse than Jokic on defense is fire. Napping Trey, y'all really let Swiper get out of that combo by bringing up Sabonis.
Get out of what combo?
I think it's just a good conversation that got brought up at the end of the show. If I'm being honest, but that could be like a
y'all be really wanting me to go 4v1 all the time. Like, can I take a break?
No, Penn picks Jokic too out of those 4. So for what it's worth, it would have been
you two.
Just so we're clear, this
I don't know
like,
who Damian picks.
This like year-long war between me and Swiper was off today, right?
There's never been a war. I don't fight.
No, that was a war.
I relent.
I've been taking swipes at you like 16 times an episode, and I took 0 today. So, shout out.
That's a good W growth for you.
All right, so we got through them. Appreciate everybody for pulling up today. Y'all make sure to get the Throwback Thursday tonight. It's gonna be a great game from what I've heard. I can't be sure. You know what I'm saying? Anytime I don't pick the game, it's kind of shaky. So y'all make sure to get there and check it out anyway. And then we'll be back in a couple hours on Chill with Chill, man. See y'all soon.
Merry Christmas.
Peace, y'all.
See you guys.